The following is a presentation of Grayson Publishing.
Football, while it is a reckoning to individuals, is a bounty for a platoon. The game brings communities together because of one name that shines bright on the front of the jersey. The spirit of team colors, mascots, cheerleaders, and all that comes with the strange fascination that we have with the warrior-spirited game pumps life into a community. Some towns even hang their hat on their football team. Love it or hate it, America is obsessed with football.
Grisham to the 30, to the 25, barrels over a defender. This is going to be Wall running right side, trying to keep it himself, looking for a block for Matthews. He's got the 10, he's got the 5. It is touchdown time in Texas. 25, 20, 15, kiss him goodbye. It is touchdown time in Texas for Tyler Grisham.
Howe Bulldogs football is brought to you by Cavender Home Theater, Sweetie Pies by Karen, Howe Mercantile, Sonic of Howe, Scoggins Funeral Home, Kiri's Coffee Company.
3-yard touchdown for Tyler Grisham, and the Bulldogs regain the lead.
Howe Bulldog football is also brought to you in part by Douglas Propane, Buck Snort Barbecue, Abby's Restaurant, Attorney Micah Belden, and the Howe Athletic Booster Club.
Howe, your Bulldogs are by-district champions again, back-to-back years.
Now let's go live to the stadium with Monty Walker and Michael Mosier.
On the back of my hotel. Oh yeah.
It is game number 744 in Howe Bulldogs history, but more importantly, it's game number 35 in Howe Bulldog playoff history. It is the 6th ever regional championship game Howe has ever played, and the second in 3 years. Howe has an overall record of 381, 338, and 24, and an overall playoff record of 14 wins, 17 losses, and 3 ties. Howe advanced on 2 of those 3 ties. But most importantly, in 2016, Michael Mosier, the Howe Bulldogs are 2-0 in the playoffs this season.
That's right. I'm ready to go.
It's going to be a great game tonight. The Howe Bulldogs have won 24 of their last 31 games, and head coach Zach Hudson has tied Buck Smith with 29 wins in Howe history. That total only trails Norman Dickey, Jim Fryer, and Davey DeBose. Hudson now has won more playoff games than anyone in Howe history. It's the second time Howe has played right here at Royce City ISD Stadium. A year ago, Howe beat Edgewood in a comeback thriller that saw Howe down early in the game, but came back to win 43-33. Howe had 513 yards rushing that night to set a school playoff record and rushing and total yards record. Tonight is the first time Mineola and Howe have ever met. Mineola 10-2, the Howe Bulldogs are 9-3. Mineola went undefeated in District 7. Out of that district came Farmersville, who's playing Pottsboro tomorrow at Allen, and Mount Vernon, who was eliminated by White Oak, and Winsboro, who were eliminated by Jefferson. So Mineola has scored 576 points on the season. That's averaging 48 per game. And they've given up 202, which is 17 per game. Conversely, the Howe Bulldogs have scored 395 points on the season, which is 33 per game, and given up 262 points this season, which is a 22-game allotment. Mineola will feature their 5'9", 190-pound senior quarterback Jeremiah Crawford. He's rushed for 1,918 yards. That's 12 yards per carry. And he's also thrown for 782 yards on the season. That's a 47 completion percentage for Crawford. Not too bad. Stats right there for the senior quarterback.
That's pretty good.
He was the starting quarterback his sophomore year for this Mineola team, who went to the state championship game and lost to Cameron Yo in that state championship game. And then a year ago, Mineola went to the semifinal round, and they were eliminated by the eventual state champion Brock team. So now those sophomores and juniors are seniors, and they feel like this is their year to win the whole thing. But the Howe Bulldogs are going to have something to say about that tonight, as they have rushed for a school record 4,550 yards and are averaging over 6.5 yards per carry. Howe's 52 rushing touchdowns is also a new high for the Howe Bulldogs. Since Howe went to the slot T back in 2014, they have amassed 13,076 yards. That's almost 7 yards per carry, with 151 touchdowns in 30 games. Very impressive. And what's also impressive, Michael, Tyler Grisham a week ago became the all-time leader in school history in rushing touchdowns with 42 and overall touchdowns with 45. He surpassed Nathaniel Falls in both of those categories.
That's pretty impressive right there.
It's going to be a great game tonight, as two powerful offenses will match up against each other. It really is going to come down to who makes the stand on defense, which team steps up. Will it be the Black Plague on Black Friday, or will it be the Orange Crush of Mineola in their orange uniforms? Very Salina looking tonight.
They are. They do look a lot like Salina.
Howe will come out in their black tops with the white sleeves and the white pants with the thick black stripe down the side, almost identical to the look that Howe had when they beat Salina back at Clark Stadium in 1990. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll let you hear from Coach Zach Hudson here in just a moment. We'll be back from Royce City ISD Stadium in just a moment.
A word from Douglas Propane.
I've been in the industry for 21 years. The other day I got a call from a elderly lady on the side of the highway that wanted to thank me because one of my technicians stopped and changed her tire for her. The service goes so much further than beyond propane. It's the mentality of the person that we have on our staff. We appreciate our customer base in Howe and surrounding communities, and go Bulldogs. Have a great year.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
And now it's time for the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs Head Coaches Show with Zach Hudson.
Coach, area champions 2 out of 3 years. A big win last Friday night over Jefferson, 31-7. Perhaps a story of the game could be the 17-play, 81-yard drive that took nearly 10 minutes off the clock, and that seems to be the story of your season, taking time off the clock.
Well, it is this season. It has been in the past. It's one of those back-breaking moments of a game that a team feels like they're still in the game, and then when someone hangs on to the ball for that long and then ends it with a score, it really does cause them to think, if they truly could win the game. And we've done that all year long, I think, and when we do, we are able to accomplish that, it really does help us win the ball game on the offensive side and the defensive side. And you make them run some things they don't really want to run or don't practice, and again, we come out ahead of that.
Jaden Matthews goes down with an injury, and again, your depth shows. Andrew Griffin stepped right in and did a great job.
We do. We have some kids there that, these juniors and seniors that have played other positions in the past years, and we try not to go both ways with as few kids as possible, because we are fresher and we feel like we play faster without doing that. And when Jaden goes down, his backup's Andrew, and everybody knows that, and Andrew steps in, does a great job. But just as Jaden has stepped in on defense also, so it's one of those things that you knew it was there. We knew all along. We knew all along Andrew was good, and we know all along Jaden's good. So we knew we had a backup. We didn't really want to use him because it can hurt you in the fourth quarter on defense and on offense, having to go both ways. But we're going to have to suck it up and get it done.
Talking about a great running back, Tyler Grisham last week went over the touchdown mark, now the all-time leading scorer in Howe history. You called him up as a freshman back in 2013. What did you see about him then?
Well, he has a natural way of just having a presence on the field and where to fit, and that's something you can't really teach. It's something that some people have and some people don't. But he was naturally strong. Of course, he's gotten stronger over the years, but he understood where to go and where to fit. And he played outside linebacker for us for basically 3.5 years, and so played a lot of running back as a sophomore and junior and senior. So he's just one of those kids that naturally gets it, where to go, and you can't really teach that, can't really replace that. So.
We'll take a quick time out and hear from Douglas Propane.
We had a little leak. We kept smelling, my wife and I kept smelling gas, and we walked into the house. Called my plumber, and he said, well, you need to call your propane company because they handle that. So I gave Douglas a call. They immediately sent Barry out, and Barry brought out some sophisticated little devices to check for if there was any gas in the house. And sure enough, he found 2 places. He tightened those up, which was really the plumber's responsibility anyway. He installed those. But they got that fixed up. Since then, we haven't had any problems at all. So I just enjoy doing business with them because they were here when they said they would be here, and they've done everything they said they'd do. So it was a pleasure doing business with them.
Coach, your defense has played outstanding. 3 of the past 4 games put single digits or allowed single digits on the board, and that is that goes a long way in winning football games.
Well, it does. Anytime you can get off the field on 3rd down and not let them drive the field on you, it makes a big difference. But, the last 2 games, I think both of them averaged over 40-something points, and we've held them to, 28 and 7. So, the kids have done a great job. And, ever since the Van Alstyne game, we kind of had a chip on our shoulder that, we didn't really play like that. And I think everybody still remembers that night and don't want to relive that night. So, we simplified some things and put some people in spots and just, said we're going to line up and beat on some people. And that's what they've done. And I thought our secondary has really improved throughout the year, which has helped tremendously. And the last couple of games we've had a lot of interceptions and a lot of batted balls down and stuff. So anytime you can do that, be that close to receivers and make people run the football and it really helps out.
I think a lot of people want to know how you come about the playoff location and the home team, visiting team, and how that works. There's a lot of times Howe plays a long way away, and sometimes Royce City's not that far away. How does that work?
Well, we talk as coaches, just like right now. If we were to beat Mineola, we would end up with Farmersville or Pottsboro. And so we try to find fields as coaches. We talk and say, would you agree to play here at this day? And those stadiums also have to have that opening there. Sometimes you can lock down the game if all 4 teams agree, no matter who wins, that they're going to play there. But in a situation like next week, if we end up with Pottsboro, we're not going to play in Mesquite. But Pottsboro would play in a Royce City or Mesquite if they ended up with a Mineola. So we can't really lock down a stadium, so nothing's for sure. You get on a list on some of these stadiums. You might be 5th on the list, but you might be the one getting it also. So it's one of those deals. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a chess match sometimes. But most of the coaches, I would say 95% of the coaches, we're all pretty, not trying to, get one over on each other. And we're trying to make sure that everybody's fair in the whole thing and try to find a happy medium between the two so fans don't have to travel so far. And, the Lindell game, that's really the only place between us We wanted to play on Friday night. I thought that was our best chance of winning. So Pottsboro was playing in Rains, and which was about the only one that was closer to us, and Lindale was a little closer to them. And Lindale was a stadium that was open, and so some of these other stadiums that people play at, they might be in the playoffs. And a lot of times, I know like Rockwall and Van and people like that, if they're in the playoffs, they don't host. And so sometimes you pass stadiums that are pretty nice, and you ask why we don't play there. Well, if they're in the playoffs, they're not hosting. And so it's a big chess match, and it takes a while. It's probably about 5 hours a week trying to figure all of it out, the logistics of it. But it always works out. And we the head coaches, we try to work together and make sure that, our fans have, equal opportunities to make it to games and stuff like that.
Mineola tonight, regional championship round, first time since Wascom 2 years ago. Once you get into this round, everybody's really good. Mineola is really good. And talk about them and what kind of expectations you see tonight for them.
Well, they have a lot of seasoned kids. 2 years ago they played in the state championship with a lot of sophomores, and now they're seniors. A year ago they played Brock in the semifinals, lost to Brock, who eventually won the state championship, and they were all juniors. Now they've lost some kids along the way. 2 Division I kids along the way. So it's not that it's the same team, but they have a lot of seasoned kids that have been there and done that. It's one of those games that it's kind of like a Grandview. We're going to have to play, and if you make one mistake, they're gonna get you on it, and you have to be perfect, and so do they. They can't make a mistake with us running slot T, but we can't make a mistake on their quarterback and the way he runs it. So we all have to play perfect, and we got to hang on the football and keep the ball out of the other team's hands. But they don't get in a lot of third down situations. You need to stop on first and second down and make them get into something that they don't want to do, but they're not used to doing. They're not used to third and longs and third and medium. So defensively, we got to do that. But offensively, we have to do what we do. And if we struggle doing that, we're going to struggle. But we're going to have to punt the ball. They're going to have to punt the ball. Their special teams going to play a big part of this. Make sure nothing funny happens and things like that. So it'll be an interesting game, and it'll be a great night. And all of us looking forward to it. And I know they are too.
You've been listening to the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs Coaches Show with Zach Hudson.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
Welcome back, as we are just about ready for, I believe, national anthems and things of that nature. The Mineola Yellowjackets, who I've never seen an orange yellow jacket before in my life, but they are orange. They will be wearing all white tonight in orange helmets, so white pants, white jerseys. What color are those numbers there, Stephen? Possibly black number. We were way up here. Now, you thought we were very high in Justin, and we were, but we're probably another level above where we were at that point. We're right off I-30 here in Royce City, Texas, and the Bulldogs are still in the locker room awaiting to come out. They've done their stretching and pregame, but we're awaiting Howe to come on the field tonight. Let's go over the starting lineup. Let's go over Howe's offense. It is going to be the wideout, Ty Harvey, who has 6 catches and 133 yards. Tim Helpenstell, the left tackle. Landry Elvington will be the starting left guard tonight as Connor Jackson is injured. He's got a hurt foot and will not play tonight. The center, Chase Harvey. The right guard, Tanner Hartsfield. And the right tackle, Clay Marshall. The tight end, big tight end, 6'3", 295-pound Matthew Griffin. The quarterback, Mason Riggs, a sophomore. On the season, 1 completion out of 1 pass attempt, 1 out of 1. That's how much they asked from their quarterback. But what he is really good at is running the football. As Mason Riggs, 58 carries, 522 yards, that's 9 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns. 88 is his longest. That was in Caddo Mills way back several weeks ago. Jaden Matthews is suited up. I doubt very seriously he'll get the start. We'll have to check. Andrew Griffin will see a lot of carries tonight. He had a big week last week. 23 carries on the season, 166 yards, averaging over 7 yards a carry and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Grisham, your all-time leading touchdown scorer for the Howe Bulldogs. 199 carries, 1,152 yards, almost 5.8 yards per carry, 22 touchdowns this season. His longest is 61. So far in 2016, Howe has 2 rushers over 1,000 yards and another one who's pretty close, Brent Masters, 780 yards. He'll start at slot back tonight. Over 7.5 yards per carry and 4 touchdowns. He's ran a 65-yarder. Bryce Honecker, the junior kicker, 6 out of 7 field goals. And the punter, either Brandon Wall, maybe Jaden Matthews if he's healthy. Let's go over the Mineola starters.
All right, defensive starter Ian Cortland Sanchez. Defensive tackle Tracy Murphy. Defensive tackle Trayson Tenner. Linebacker Devin Gogan. Linebacker Michael Brennan, outside linebacker Noah Sneed, cornerback Dalton Harris, cornerback Courtney Hampton, Cameron Sorenzo is the free safety, strong safeties Curtis Landon.
All right, the defense, the Black Plague for Howe. The right defensive end, Cameron Blesseye, sophomore. The left defensive end, Mike Helpenstell. The nose guard, Zach Daniels. You'll also probably see a little bit of Clay Marshall and Matt Griffin rotating in and out of nose guard. The outside linebackers, J.P. Queen and Tyler Grisham. The inside backers, Andrew Griffin and Tanner Hartsfield. The cornerbacks tonight, Cooper Akins and Brennan Ross, both seniors. The starting safeties, Ty Harvey, the junior, and Seth Siebold, the senior. They have really come on late in the season to provide one heck of a secondary for Howe. And usually you'll see Andrew Griffin returning punts for the Howe Bulldogs. So let's go over the starting offense for Mineola, Michael.
Wide receiver Seth Hudgens, Cortland Sanchez, Noah Sneed, Michael Brennan, Frankie Beeson, Dalton Robles, Hugo Sanchez, Luke Bowden, Tracy Murphy, Cameron Wise, Jeremiah Crawford, and Curtis London.
There's the Mineola Yellowjackets coming through their tunnel. And sort of the tunnel is very similar to Denison Yellowjackets' Yellow Jacket tunnel, but this one, again, all orange and white, much like Salina. And the Howe Bulldogs heading inside their tunnel as it's going to start rocking here in a moment. And a nice home crowd on the home bleachers. Stadium seats here in Royce City, and the stadium portion, at least the first half of it's pretty full. A nice crowd as they come to their feet awaiting the Howe Bulldogs running onto the field. And here are the Bulldogs rocking that tunnel. They're just about ready. The cheerleaders are on the field making a victory line from the goal line, halfway through the goal line up to about the 22-yard line. And the smoke coming out of the front of the tunnel. And the Bulldogs are just about ready. Here they come. It is playoff time in Texas. The captains making their way out on the field. Tyler Grisham, Jaden Matthews, Cooper Akins, and Tanner Hartsfield for Howe. And they will begin their stroll towards center court, if you will. On the far side, I'm going to need a lot of help from our spotter tonight. We are way up in the sky. Looks like Cortland Sanchez, Noah Sneed, the coach's son, Michael Drennan, who plays a great linebacker, and apparently possibly the quarterback, Jeremiah Crawford.
And we will have the national anthem after the coin toss.
So we're going to have the coin toss after the national anthem, apparently.
The captain from Mineola, number 2 is Cortland Sanchez.
Or possibly the other way around. Looks like we're going to have the coin toss first.
Crawford, and number 11, Michael Drum.
So here are the captains making their way out to
number 2 is Cooper Atkins.
The center court,
number 25 is
midfield.
Grisham, and number 70 is Tanner Hartsfield.
Again, Howe's in all black except the pants. The black tops, black helmets, white pants, black socks, and the thick black stripe down the white pants. And the officials are visiting with both teams right now at midfield, awaiting this coin toss. And nothing official yet, as still talking. Looks like Howe has won the toss and will defer. That's what they love to do. Howe loves to play defense first, and they will tonight to start this football game. And we'll see where they turn, as Mineola will take it first. I'll go ahead and mark it on my chart. Here we go. And Howe's going to defend the south end zone. Well, that's south, right?
Yes.
This field runs north and south. So Mineola will be moving left to right to start out this football game here in just a moment. So now I think we're just about ready for the national anthem.
You will find our nation's flag.
As we will let you listen to that. The flag is at the north end zone towards I-30. You can see the cars driving by on this great Thanksgiving weekend, and it's always fun when you're playing on Thanksgiving.
7 red alternating with 6 white. The stripes represent the original 13 colonies. The stars represent the 50 states of our union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor, while white symbolizes purity, innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, will you all please rise? Gentlemen, will you please remove your hats? Veterans and current military, will you please render your salute if you choose? And will everyone please place your right hand over your heart as our national anthem tonight will be played by the Howe High School Band.
And it is playoff time in Texas from Royce City. The Howe Bulldogs and Mineola Yellowjackets in the third round of the playoffs. And what a great evening, a beautiful evening on this Thanksgiving weekend. It is tonight, Michael Mosier. It can't get much better than this.
No, it can. I'm ready.
So the Howe Bulldogs now will have Landry Elvington wearing a different uniform tonight. He will be wearing number 60 instead of his customary number 4 as he moves into that starting left guard situation with the injury to Connor Jackson. And we'll have a little bit of help in the booth tonight as we have closed circuit TV inside of the stadium and inside the press box. And I'm about to post this, so check this out. It's pretty cool on our little Facebook feed. So the Howe Bulldogs come out kicking the ball first. And it will be Honecker setting it up at the 40, again kicking right to left. The Mineola Yellowjackets will send one man deep. And I think that's going to be Chance Perkins. It's going to be a little pooch kick to the near side and not going very far, as Mineola will have great field position to start out from their own, it appears to be 40-yard line. Is that right, Michael?
Yes, sir. Frankie Beeson was the one that called for the fair catch for Mineola.
Okay, so Mineola will start at their own 40, moving left to right. Again, the Yellow Jackets stud, if you will, is Jeremiah Crawford, the quarterback. He has 1,918 yards rushing and 782 through the air. He'll be in shotgun formation, empty back set. Now a man in motion. They're going to fake it to him in a flag down to start this football game, and that normally will be against the offense. We'll check and see what that is.
Yeah, I think the offense moved, this end moved before the snap.
So they'll step it off 5 yards back to the 35, and that's where Howe will start, or Mineola rather, will start from their own 35 here. No time is run off the clock. We're in the first quarter, so I need to change that, don't I, Michael?
Yes, sir.
So first quarter action. And there we go, update, there we go. First and 15 for Mineola. And this is going to be Crawford handing off to the slot man on the far side. Breaks it out to the 40, look out, 45, near midfield, crosses into Howe territory, first down, at about the 45-yard line.
J.P. Queen made the stop for the Bulldogs.
They'll spot him at the 43-yard line.
Clay Marshall checking out. Mike, looks like Matt Griffin checked in at nose guard.
22-yard gain on the very first play of the night for Mineola. Again, they're very electric on offense, scoring 48 points per game. First and 10, moving left to right, man in motion. They fake the hand to him. Crawford keeps it up the middle. He's got some room up to the 41-yard line. Only gains a couple. I thought for a moment he was going to clear through, but Cameron Blesseye had him by the jersey and brought him or stood him up long enough for Siebold to get there. A gain of 1 will take it to the 41-yard line, or a gain of 2 rather. So Mineola in all white on the day after Turkey Day, as you'll need to just relax a little bit, maybe undo the belt another notch, get rid of the ham and turkey for just a moment, as we've got what hopes to be a great game here tonight. Low snap, and Crawford wants to throw it under pressure, being chased down by Andrew Griffin, is going to escape that tackle to the 35 and a first down at about the 32-yard line.
J.P. Queen, again, in on the stop for the Bulldogs.
A 9-yard gain will give Mineola a first down. It was the quarterback Crawford under all kinds of pressure from several defenders from Howe, but he was able to escape left, roll up the far side, and get out of that last tackle. I thought Andrew Griffin might have had him by the shoestrings, but he was able to escape that one. And once he did that, he had some room up to the 32 where the ball's spotted right now. Moving left to right. One man in the backfield along with Crawford. And that will be the running back getting the toss there. The handoff, rather, to the 28-yard line. And on the carry, I believe, is Curtis London. London has 57 carries, 564 yards coming into tonight. That's a 9.9 yard average. But Chance Perkins, who's had the most carries on the season so far, Perkins has 112 carries for 941 yards, but tonight London gets the start. Nobody in the backfield here. 3 receivers near side, 2 up top, moving left to right. And this is going to be Crawford keeping it from the 30-yard line. Another first down inside the 20. About the 19.
Ty Harvey made the stop for the Bulldogs.
So they'll spot the ball at the 19 on an 11-yard run by Crawford. And again, Crawford they spread it out. That's the typical spread. They spread it out to run it. They don't spread it to pass so much. Crawford's so dangerous with the football in his hands, and he likes to run. First down and 10, 9:11 on the clock here in the first quarter. No score, just underway. And this is going to be London on the carry to the left side, stopped in his tracks at the 19-yard line.
And Drew Griffin and Clay Marshall made the stop.
7th play of the drive ends up with a no gain and 8:54 on the first quarter clock. Howe needs a stop. So far, Mineola has pretty much marched down the field. Got a big 22-yard run to really start this drive. And now they're knocking on the door inside the 20. Second down and 10 from the 19. A man in the backfield is London. But this is going to be Crawford faking the pitch, keeping it around the right edge, up the right hash, close to another first down at the 11-yard line.
Tripped up by Tanner Hartsfield and Mike Heppenstall.
So at the 10, needing 1 yard for another first down. And Mineola looks to be headed towards their first score of the night, as they have really looked impressive on this first drive.
Clay Marshall checked in at nose guard.
Mineola will send out 2 receivers to the near side, 1 in the slot. And shotgun formation for Crawford. He digs it, keeps it over right guard, lots of room to the 5, strolls into the end zone. Touchdown Mineola to start this football game with 7:45 on the clock. The Yellowjackets strike first blood and have a 6-0 lead awaiting this PAT. 11-yard touchdown by the quarterback, Jeremiah Crawford. And it looks like they're going to go for 2, at least in the swinging gate. Now they'll break out. So it was an 8-play drive and 65 yards. And the extra point looks high enough and looks good enough. And 7-0 is our new score. Mineola in the lead, 7:45 on the clock. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back with more Howe Bulldog action.
In this very football season, we will experience extreme heat followed by the changing of the leaves and finally feel the cold chill of the November rain. Life changes, and sometimes it changes too fast. When you lose a loved one, you need a place of comfort and trust. Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory of Van Alstyne will provide you with that care. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins invite you to talk to their caring staff. They take pride in their responsibility to lighten your burden as you take the first steps towards healing.
Do you love coffee? Wish there was a local coffee shop to study, work, and get the best coffee drinks and baked goods in Texas? Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne is your dream come true. Carrie's Coffee Company serves the highest quality organic coffee and espresso drinks like cafe mocha, caramel macchiato, and cappuccino, plus iced coffee frappes with your favorite flavor. Visit Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne next to the post office, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to noon, and Saturday, 7 a.m. to noon.
Sorensen will kick this one away for Mineola. Again, kicking left to right. And it appears Brandon Wall is back deep for the Bulldogs. Mineola leads 7-0 early on in this football game. Here's the kick. Going to be taken by Wall inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Coming up the left hash, and he'll make the 21-yard line, and that's where the Bulldogs will start for the first time tonight from their own 21-yard line. Now, what Howe does best in a typical drive here would be to go 79 yards and take virtually the rest of the quarter away and end this first quarter with something like 7-7 going to the second quarter. That's what Howe wants to do. That's what they typically do. But last week kind of sputtered a little bit early on in the football game with fumbles and penalties. Can't do that tonight. Right to left, man in motion, and this is going to be not much doing here. Maybe a fumble on the exchange. And Mineola says they have it. The officials, however, say second down.
Andrew Griffin come up with a loose ball.
So it'll be second down from the 21-yard line. And again, Howe has got to be careful. They fumbled the snap there. And Ty Harvey will bring the play in. Second down and 10. Didn't lose a yard. Harvey will split out wide right. Masters split out with him in the slot. Twins to the right side. 2 men in the backfield. And this is going to be a handoff to that's Griffin over right guard. Pushes his way forward up to about the 24-yard line. So all of a sudden, Howe facing a 3rd and long.
Cortland Cinches made a stop for the Mineola Yellowjackets.
So third down rather, and about 7 coming up for Howe. Harvey will bring in the play. The ball spotted at the 24-yard line, just shy. Nose touching. Everybody tight on this play. And Riggs going to hand off to the reverse to the near side, and that's Masters. He'll fight forward, close to a first down at the 30, but a late flag comes down, and that could be a face mask. We'll have to check and see, but it's the ball spotted at about the 30. It was a great end around from Masters from right to left, and it will be a personal foul face mask against Mineola. What a break right there. Howe will have a first down. The first down of the night for the Bulldogs. They'll take that penalty, which will push the ball way up near midfield at about right at the 45-yard line. So a new set of downs for the Bulldogs with 6:24 on the clock. And Howe wants to grind and pound this clock and field and punch it in. Bulldogs waiting. Harvey kind of alone away from the huddle. Now comes to the line of scrimmage. He apparently knew the play long before anybody else. 1 man in the backfield, 2 slots. Man in motion, and this is going to be Riggs handing off left side. Grisham, his first carry of the night. Good for about a yard, maybe 2, up to the 47-yard line, and that's Andrew Griffin, rather.
Cameron Wise made the stop for Mineola.
So Griffin and Grisham are more similar in stature than so Jaden Matthews. Griffin a little bit thicker than Matthews. It's going to be hard to tell who's who. On the reverse, Masters to the right side this time. Stopped in his tracks, no gain. Maybe up to the 47, give him a half yard. That was the 6th play of the drive, and Howe really hasn't had a big push just yet.
Michael Drennan and Courtney Hampton made the stop.
Drennan, the coach's son, linebacker, a really good player, and you'll probably hear his name a lot tonight as Ty Harvey will bring the play in here on 3rd and 7. Again, second 3rd and 7 situation for Howe as we're just about at the 5-minute mark. 5:14 in the first quarter. Howe trailing 7-0. Riggs under center. He's going to fake the hand, keep it around the right side, can't get free. He might even lose a yard. Back to the 46-yard line. It will be a loss, and it will be 4th down, and it will be punt time for Howe. No riverboat gambler here short of midfield, down 7-0. Howe's going to punt this one away, and we'll have to check and see who's doing the punting tonight. It probably will be Brandon Wall, and we shall see. It looks like it's Wall, and it is, and he'll stand at about the 36-yard line to try to punt this one away. And now a flag comes down near the punt returner. A late flag, and Howe may have broke the huddle with too many men. We'll see. Is Mineola has 12 men on the field. So now, if you're Hudson, does this change things? Because now the ball is at the 49 on the other side of the field. So they're still going to punt, apparently. As it's now 4th and 4 And Wall will stand at the 40. And now he'll right-footed punt this one away to the right corner, and it will land at about the 27-yard line. Ross will down it there, and Mineola will take over with 4:23 on the first quarter clock from their own 27-yard line. Again, just underway here, first quarter. Mineola drove 8 plays and 65 yards on the first drive. Punched it in with a quarterback Crawford touchdown of 11. And that's how we have our 7-0 score here in the first quarter. Now Crawford will go back in shotgun formation. Will stand at his 21-yard line. He'll hand off to London, who's brought down pretty close to the line of scrimmage at about the 27.
Tanner Hartsfield in on the stop.
So give him no gain there. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with 4:11 on the clock. They'll actually lose a yard back to the 26. I'd like to thank you for listening tonight. Appreciate you tuning in to HoweEnterprise.com. If you're out there in Radio Land here inside the stadium, 99.9 FM. 2 receivers up top. Mineola moving left to right. Shotgun formation for Crawford. He fakes the hand and he keeps it right in his face. Are the Bulldogs. Tim Helpenstell was there first. Andrew Griffin, I believe, finished him off. Actually, it was Seth Siebold coming up on the safety blitz. And a loss back there, a pretty big loss back to the 21-yard line. 5-yard loss.
Great play by the Bulldogs.
Tim Helpenstell was right in Crawford's face. He kind of stuck it in the gut of London and then pulled it. When he pulled it, Helpenstell was right there. Wasn't able to bring him down, but stood him up long enough for help to come. Crawford wants to throw left side, and it's going to be complete and brought down almost immediately on the far side by Brennan Ross. And now the receiver will fall forward for a little bit and gain a couple of yards up to about the 29. So an 8-yard gain, but a 4th down and 6 coming up. And on the catch, I believe, was Hudgens.
Looks like Mineola may be going for it.
Mineola at least showing that they're going for it, and now Crawford will step back to punt, 4th and 6. And he'll punt it away from his own 22-yard line. No return as Griffin did not go back. It takes a good Bulldog bounce, however, back to about the 39-yard line. And Howe will take over there from their own 39 with 2:25 left to go here in the first quarter, trailing 7-0 to Mineola.
Frankie Mason downed it for Mineola.
Now the nose of the ball will touch the 40, and that's where they'll spot it. So officially, the ball is at the 40. 2:25 on the clock, and here comes Cade Courtney to bring the play in. 1st and 10 for Howe, moving right to left. Ball spotted on the right hash. A lot of I-30 traffic to our left. Riggs sends a man in motion, and he is going to fake the hand. He's going to keep it around the left edge. Escapes one tackle, but brought down behind the line of scrimmage. He couldn't keep his feet after the pressure up the right hash, the left hash rather.
Cortland Cinches made the stop.
It'll be a 3-yard loss back to the 37-yard line. It was Riggs trying to get around that edge, and he had pressure right there from Sanchez. Got around him, but he was off balance and just tripped up and fell. So the ball now on the left hash. Riggs under center, 2 men in the backfield. Masters in motion. This will be a handoff over right guard, and that would be Grisham, and that is his first carry of the night, and that's going for no gain. And all of a sudden, Howe is having problems moving the football.
Tracy Murphy and Cody Ford in on the stop.
3rd and 13 coming up for Howe as we're just about getting close to the end of this first quarter. 1:22 and rolling on the clock. Ty Harvey bringing the play in. Ball spotted right in the middle of the field. And the Bulldogs break the huddle as Harvey comes up, puts his hand on the football. Everybody else follows him. Riggs goes under center. 2 men in the backfield. Masters in the slot, in motion. This is a handoff. Grisham over left tackle, and he'll fall forward for a few up to the 42-yard line. And for the first time tonight, that's the Tyler Grisham play where Tanner Hartsfield pulls, Grisham follows behind him, and he gains enough up to about the 41-yard line, so that's a gain of 4, but still well short of the first down and punt time again for the Bulldogs. And Coach Hudson said tonight there would be a lot of punts on both sides. So far, Howe's punted now twice as Wall bangs this one away towards the right side. A fair catch called for at the 36-yard line on the left hash. And that's where Mineola will take over with 31 seconds left to go in the first quarter, leading 7-0 over Howe.
Cortland Cinches made the fair catch for Mineola.
So far we've seen 3 punts, one from Mineola and 2 from Howe. And that's exactly what Coach Hudson said we'd see, a lot of punts in this game. 31 seconds on the clock. Mineola moving left to right on the far hash. Man in motion, and this is going to be Crawford keeping it along that left side. Now he's got some room. Escapes to the 50. Look out, 45. Pushed out of bounds at about the 42-yard line in Howe territory. A pretty big run there of about 13 yards.
Andrew Griffin and Cameron Blesseye in on the stop.
That's more than 13 yards. It's about 23 yards.
20 yards.
This ball spotted now at the 43.
Yeah, he got that outside edge, and that was a good run.
So the ball still on the left hash. Clock stopped 22 seconds. And 1 man in the backfield, along with Crawford, wants to throw right side. It's going to be incomplete. Threw it right over Hudgens' head. It was Cooper Akins in coverage, which will bring up a 2nd down and 10. 19 seconds on the first quarter clock. Yeah. Zach Daniels checks out. Clay Marshall is into the game.
Clay Marshall and nose guard. Matt Griffin's out there as well.
Yeah, Matt Griffin in there also. And ball spotted at the 43-yard line. 2nd down and 10 coming up on the left hash. Crawford all alone now in the backfield. 2 receivers either side, and one man in motion coming from far side to near. And Crawford's going to run over right side. Escapes through a couple of defenders. Crosses the 40 to the 38-yard line. Not enough for a first down. 3rd and about 5 coming up.
Andrew Griffin in on the stop. Matt Griffin, excuse me.
So 3rd and 5 coming up for Mineola at the Howe 38-yard line. A timeout has been called. We'll take one too. Back in a moment with more Howe Bulldog action.
Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic in Howe for half-price shakes after 8 and open until midnight. Home games only.
Where you get great food and big smiles. And a little message for our Howe Bulldog football players. Go Bulldogs, fight Bulldogs, win, win, win. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Well, we are now in the second quarter. As you knew, it was going to be tough. And so far, it's tough.
Yes, it is.
Mineola leading 7-0 here early. And we'll switch sides now. And now the boys in white and orange helmets will be moving right to left on Thanksgiving weekend. The Bulldogs in black uniforms, white pants, black helmets, black socks. Here we go. 3rd down and 5. Big play here for Mineola. Sending a man in motion from right to left. And this is Crawford in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. Brought down. It'll be 4th and about 10 after a 5-yard loss.
Cameron Blesseye and Seth Seabolt in on the stop.
So now that'll move the ball back to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, that was a good stop. Good play by the Bulldogs.
So about a 4-yard loss officially. And now on 4th and 9. We'll see if Mineola wants to punt. Crawford does step back inside Howe territory. Punts this one away. A low, wobbly kick, going to go way out of bounds. But Howe will start pretty deep in their own territory as the official walked way back.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure it went that far out of bounds.
That was a long way, and now he walks back up to the 20-yard line. And Howe will start there from their own 20, moving left to right with 11:17 on the clock. A nice crowd for Howe showed up tonight. Stadium seating on the near side, and they've just about got it full in the middle.
Yeah, that's a good crowd tonight.
So left to right go the Bulldogs from their own 20-yard line on the left hash. 2 men in the backfield. And it's going to be a handoff right side. Masters got a hold. Look out, 30. Cuts it up inside to the 35, down to the 36-yard line for the first time tonight. Life from the Howe offense. Masters from the left to right side on the reverse. He was shot out of a cannon.
Cameron Sorenzo made the stop.
17-yard gain for the Bulldogs, as that'll give them life in a new set of downs with 11:03 and rolling here in the second quarter. Trailing 7-0 to Mineola. Coming back to the line of scrimmage. Everybody tight. 2 men in the backfield. One slot is Masters. This is going to be a handoff over left guard, left tackle rather, and I believe that's going to be Grisham on the carry, and that'll be good for about 2 yards up to the 40.
Frankie Meeson just barely grabbed him by the tail of the jersey and tripped him up.
10:37 on the clock. We're in the second quarter. Mineola leading 7-0. Howe trying to show signs of life on offense, as Riggs will go under center and draw Mineola offsides. I don't believe Howe jumped, but I do believe Mineola did. We'll have to check. Kate Courtney running off the side, as I believe the hard snap count by Riggs may have drawn Mineola offsides. We'll check and see. It was second down and about 8, and now the officials are talking about it at right in the middle of the field at the 41-yard line. They're still talking about it. Still trying to figure out if somebody on Howe flinched. Still talking. And it's going to be against Howe. Are you kidding me? Wow. They'll call it against Landry Elvington. Again, starting tonight in place of Connor Jackson with a hurt foot. And that's a big penalty right there. Loss of 5 will put the Bulldogs back at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, that's just one of them, just a mistake. It'll be all right. Bulldogs will recover.
Second down and 12. Handoff. Left side, Tyler Grisham looking for some room. Pulls over a defender. Makes his way up to the 40-yard line. So a 3rd and long coming up. Grisham just lowers the shoulder, runs right behind his shoulder pads. And the tackle made by Noah Sneed, who is 5'10", 190, and a senior. One of those individuals who played on the state champion in the state championship game 2 years ago. 3rd down and about 8 for Howe at their own 40-yard line on the left hash. Riggs sends a man in motion. He fumbles the snap. Ball's on the turf. Mineola apparently has the football. Riggs fumbled it, and it appears that Ian Thompson came up with the football, but hang on a minute. No official indication yet. The officials are talking about it. The ball spotted at the 35-yard line. And they're still talking at the 31. So far, when they talk a lot, it hasn't gone Howe's way. And I think they're maybe having a discussion whether Riggs' knee was down when he tried to recover it the first time when he had the ball. That's been the only,
the only thing.
Riggs has done such a great job coming in. The only thing that Riggs has done this year that you could say has been a negative is, he's put the ball on the turf a couple of times.
Right.
But he's a sophomore, and you expect things like that from sophomores. But this is a big one right here if they rule it over to Mineola, and the officials are still talking about it at the 35-yard line.
Like the referee's going over to talk to the Mineola coaching staff, which is not very happy.
And now Mineola is really upset as they're going to give Howe the ball.
Oh, there was looked like a flag down. The side judge just picked a flag up.
So right now the ball spotted at the 35. And I didn't see the flag.
I didn't see it either until he picked it up and walked away with it.
So currently the official is standing at the 35-yard line in Howe territory, but he has the ball in his hand and looks like he's going to go somewhere with it. Right now he's not going anywhere, but he appears to have a right foot forward like he's fixing to walk. But nothing yet.
Yeah, they're explaining something to the Mineola coaching staff.
Yeah, Joe Drennan over there has a lot of questions about what happened here, and we perhaps do as well. It appears that Riggs, when he fumbled the ball, was on the ground. His knee hit the ground on the fumble. So if that's the case, Howe will retain possession here and be able to punt it away.
Trying to explain something over here to Coach Hudson, and it's still an ongoing situation.
So again, the one official is standing at the 35 with the ball in his hand and appears to be ready to walk forward. And now the Mineola Yellowjacket defense waving their arms to the crowd, trying to get their crowd involved. They're jumping up and down. It's going to be a face mask penalty against Mineola, and that's why the official was moving forward, because Howe will have a first down. Instead of disaster, a relief. And now Howe has the ball inside Mineola territory at the 45-yard line.
Well, let's see.
Moly.
Let's see what happens now.
So here comes Howe breaking out of the huddle at the 45-yard line on the left hash. And this is going to be apparently another fumble. And Mineola has it. As Riggs went around the left side, the ball went on the turf and Mineola picked it up. I don't believe there's a question about this one, as the ball's now spotted at the 49-yard line, just shy of midfield. And the Howe defense will come on to the field.
Tyler Grisham made the stop after the fumble.
So there's 8:59 on the clock. And Mineola will start at their own 49-yard line here in the second quarter, moving right to left. A fumble would appear to be maybe on an exchange from Riggs to Grisham.
Maybe. Our replay is not doing us any good.
Yeah, we have a replay crew here in the booth, but they're on their iPhones. We don't know exactly. We have a situation where we could see, but they're not really doing that for us. And here's Crawford running the option to the near side. He's going to pitch it out, and that is going to be Chance Perkins on the carry on the option, and he'll gain one up to the 50-yard line.
Mike Heppenstall in on the stop for the Bulldogs.
So 2nd down and 9 coming up for Mineola, moving right to left. Now on the near hash. And Matt Griffin will check in now, and Brandon Wall will check out. So moving into a different package is the Howe Black Plague defense with 8:25 and rolling here in the second quarter. 7-0, pretty good game here so far, as Crawford will send out 3 receivers near side, 1 up top. And Crawford wants to throw to that 1 up top. It's going to be complete at the 43-yard line, slung down after a first down at the 40, and now at the 39-yard line.
Seth Seabolt and Tanner Hartsfield in on the stop.
So Howe went with the small package, or small secondary package, took Brandon Wall out, put Matt Griffin in up front, and it comes back to backfire as Mineola picks up the first down, throwing the football there. 1st and 10, right to left, 7:58 on the clock here in the second quarter. Mineola leading 7-0. A new set of downs at the 39-yard line in Howe territory. 1 receiver on either side, and this is going to be Crawford keeping it around the left edge, and he's going to be brought down at about the 36-yard line.
J.P. Queen and Clay Marshall made the stop.
Matt Griffin will now check out of the game. And apparently someone had already checked in.
It looked like Zach Daniels checked in for Matt Griffin.
Now Brandon Wall checks in and Clay Marshall will check out. Wall playing a secondary position. So now 7:14 on the clock. Mineola breaking the huddle. I said they had orange helmets a moment ago. Now they're white, actually. It's just so far up here, it's hard to see. Orange stripes. And this is going to be Crawford throwing it deep down the field. It's going to be incomplete. Overshot his receiver, trying to hit Hudgens, and it falls incomplete on the left hash, about 5 yards overthrown, and a 3rd and 7 coming up as Brandon Wall may have, he was on coverage.
That pass was intended for Hudgens, but I'm not sure Hudgens was even aware that the ball was in the air. He never even looked up until it was past him.
So on the 6th play of the drive, we'll see what Mineola does here on 3rd and 7. 6:56, clock stopped here in the second quarter. And a timeout has been called. We will take one too. We'll be back right after this.
If you haven't been to downtown Howe lately, you might be surprised. All the buildings are full, including the unique retail experiences of Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium. Located at 107 and 109 East Haining Street, the two antique and gift shops offer unique items that are rarely available in the Howe area, but with Howe area prices. Come and enjoy this trip back in time to the Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium, open noon to 8, Thursdays through Saturday. Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium.
Tired of paying for channels you don't watch? Cavener Home Theater and Dish got you covered. The new Flex Pack lets you customize your own package. For $39.99 per month, the Flex Pack includes 50 popular channels plus an additional channel pack of your choice. You can choose from locals, news, kids, and sports. Give us a call, 903-892-3499, or go to CavenerTV.com. You can get the Hopper 3 DVR for only $10 a month more. Give us a call.
Welcome back, 7-0 Mineola over Howe. And Mineola facing a 3rd down and 7 here at the Howe 36-yard line. And slowly making their way back on the field after Mineola called the timeout there. You can expect something right here. As Crawford goes in shotgun, sends a man in motion, rides him, fakes it. Crawford runs right up the middle. A gain up to about the 32-yard line, shy of the first down by about 3 yards. And we'll see what Mineola wants to do here on 4th down. And at this point, I think don't you go for it?
I would.
Oh.
I would. You're pretty close. So
a 4-yard gain for the Yellowjackets, and it appears that they will go for it. 6:28 and rolling before the half. Leading 7-0 over Howe. Shotgun and no backs other than Crawford. If they're going to get it on the ground, it's going to be him. However, they send a man in motion, and they give it to him around the right edge. First down and more. To the 25, to the 20. Cuts it up inside to the 10, to the 5, and down at the 1-yard line. That's going to be Perkins on the carry. He came in motion from left to right, got the hand in motion, and picked up 31 yards. Appeared to be about to score, but was brought down at the 1.
Tanner Hartsfield made the stop. Great tackle by Tanner.
That's not the first time in the playoffs that Hartsfield has saved a touchdown. The last time Grandview was not able to score. We'll see what happens here. It was almost in the same type of situation. Closer to the half, though. Crawford is going to hand off Perkins right side. He's in. Touchdown, Mineola, 1-yard touchdown. And they extend their lead, 13-0, awaiting the PAT. Howe was in this situation at the same stadium a year ago. Down 14-0, but came fighting back. They're going to have to fight back tonight. 5:41 on the clock. And Sorensen will be on here to kick the PAT. It was a 7-play drive and a 51-yard drive. And here's the extra points, very high, over the goalpost, and good. 14-0, Mineola in the lead. 5:41 left to go before the half. Back in a moment.
Think back to the best fried pies you've ever had. It won't compare to Sweetie Pies in Van Alstyne. Sweetie Pies has handmade apricot, apple, peach, buttermilk, chocolate, coconut, and lemon fried pies that melt in your mouth. Located at 120 South Main Street in Van Alstyne on the east side of downtown. Give them a call at 972-821-1508. You must try Sweetie Pie's signature fried pie, Sawdust. I'm not even kidding.
The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
And the type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask.
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
When people come here, you know, it's something they can be proud of.
We're back, 5:51 on the clock before the half. Howe trailing Mineola 14-0. As the Yellowjackets just punched it in on a 1-yard touchdown by Perkins, capping off a 7-play, 51-yard drive. And now Sorensen to boot this one away. It'll be Brandon Walton. Nope, it'll be Grisham, I believe, taking it on the near hash. Lots of room, 35-40. Howe's going to start in great territory, great position at the 47-yard line as Grisham just lowered his shoulder, ran straight up the field, was untouched for about the first 46, goes down at the 47-yard line.
Courtney Hampton made the stop.
So 5:34 on the clock. Howe needs to punch it in here and take all of it. All of it. Take 5:34.
Take it all.
Punch it in with 1 second left. Two receivers on the far side. Ball's on the right hash. And Wall is in the game at quarterback. Handoff right side. And this is going to be Masters on the carry. Crosses midfield up to the 47-yard line. So Wall, who has not played in a while, is now into the game. The senior quarterback who played all season long until he dislocated his shoulder at Callisburg and was apparently eligible to play or available to play a couple of weeks ago. Decided not to, and now here he is after the fumble by Riggs. And this is going to be Wall on the keeper, right up the gut, nothing doing there. Maybe a yard or two up to close to the 45-yard line. So now the Bulldogs are facing, another third, a third and short. And this is what Howe does, however, the third and short situation. They put themselves in these situations because it is a two-down situation for Howe right here. Handoff Grisham, left side, and he's going to have the first down at the 30 or 41-yard line, rather. So move the sticks. Howe starting to do what they do. They'll spot the ball at the 42.
Cameron Sorensen made the stop for Mineola.
So Masters got it going on the first play on the reverse, and so far that's been the play that Howe's been successful tonight with that reverse to Masters. Really been all that's been successful. So here comes Howe. Wall. He's going to roll out right side, looking to throw the ball down the field. He's going to have to tuck it, and he throws it out of bounds as he was about to be tackled. We'll have to check, see if there's a flag. There's not. It's going to be an incomplete pass. An outstanding job by Brandon Wall just to throw the ball out of bounds.
Run out of bounds by Devin Gogan, which come up limping a little after that stop.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. A ball spotted in the middle of the field. 4:01 left to go before the half. Howe trailing 14-0, moving left to right. Brandon Wall now at quarterback, as a couple of fumbles have happened on exchanges from Mason Riggs and the backs. And a timeout's been called by Howe. We'll take 1-2. Back in a moment.
A word from Douglas Propane.
We had received a call from Cable One back when Howe had the tornado come through. Their tower site back on the hill runs a propane backup generator. My service staff got the call late in the afternoon. We tried to get up there and get the gas to it. The ground was too soft for our bobtail to get back there, so we put it in four-wheel drive, and we actually took 100-pound cylinders and transferred them into the larger tank to get them through until we could get the larger truck back there.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
Brandon Wall had no one to throw it to down the field, was covered up. And the Mineola Yellowjackets played great coverage down the field. Wall had to throw it out of bounds quickly on the run, and with about 3 guys hanging over him. Great job by Wall right there. 2nd down and 10 coming up. 4:01 on the clock. Moving left to right in the middle of the field. Wall, handoff right side. And this is actually Wall going to keep it, and he's in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of at least 1, maybe 2, back to about the 43-yard line. They faked the handoff on the right side to Griffin. Wall kept it, and he was in traffic and jail, nowhere to go. 3rd down and 11 coming up.
Cortland Sanchez and Cameron Wise in on the stop.
You know, normally you would try to throw the football here on 3rd and 11, some kind of bootleg, halfback pass, something, but there's 3:30 on the clock. You want to run this clock a little bit. Wall under center, rolls out, and he's going to hand off up the middle to Andrew Griffin, who will gain just a few yards up to the 38-yard line. They'll gain 5, which will set up a 4th and 6. And I'm not so sure this is punting situation for Howe, as a 4th and 6 at the Mineola 38 usually spells riverboat gambler. And I believe that's what's going to happen here. But Hudson taking a lot of time off the clock. He's going to call a timeout when the play clock gets down to 1. So they're going to let this clock roll down all the way to 1 second, which will leave about 2:39 on the clock. And the clock does stop at 2:39. We'll keep it right here. I'll tell you what, we better take a timeout to get all these commercials in. We'll be back right after this.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
Well, we're back as the teams are still waiting to get back out on the field. Ball right now at the 38-yard line. The nose of the ball is touching the 38. So with 2:39 on the clock, Howe's got to come up with something right here, or are they going to punt it away? We'll have to see. It's 4th and 6. This is normally not a situation where Howe punts it, but it appears that's what's going to happen, unless there's a fake. So 4th and 6, Wall goes back in punt formation, and he is going to punt it away. It's a high, wobbly kick, bounces at the 5, goes into the end zone. So it'll be a touchback, and Mineola will have it out at the 25.
Yeah, it looked like Coach Hudson wasn't very happy about that.
Or the 20, rather. Yeah. So another punt by Howe. As I know, he wanted Wall to kind of trap that one around the, inside the 5. Did not happen. And Mineola gets the ball back with 2:32 from their own 20.
I think he was trying to get it to the corner.
1st and 10, Mineola. And a bad snap. It rolls back to the 5-yard line. Crawford has to dive for it back inside the 5. So it kind of works out the way you wanted it with the punt, as Crawford now will have the ball at the 2.5-yard line. Mineola goes back there. So it's going to be 2nd down and very, very long on a very bad snap that rolled by the right foot of Crawford. So the ball spotted at the 2 after an 18-yard loss. Clock rolling at 2:06. Mineola taking their time. It would be a nice, Stephen Braswell says it'd be a great time for a fumble And he is right. 1:52 and rolling on the clock. Crawford 5 yards deep in the end zone. He's going to run out. 5 up to the 10. Gets a block. Coming up to the 15-yard line. Sprints free at the 20 and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. They'll mark him at the 26, stopping the clock at 1:43.
Run out of bounds by Tanner Hartsfield.
24-yard gain by Crawford. Again, he has now over 2,000 yards on the season. He came in with 1,918. He may not be at the 2,000 mark, but he's getting very close as he's had a pretty good first half. Not enough for the first down. We'll set up a 3rd and 4 for Mineola from their own 26-yard line. Man in motion, and Crawford's going to give the hand to the right side. Brought down by the behind the line of scrimmage by J.P. Queen. On the handoff was Cortland Sanchez. And Sanchez on the season. Oh, I'm looking for his stats. Apparently I don't have it. I thought for a moment I had his rushing stats. He has receiving 196 yards, but I don't have his rushing numbers. This will be a 4th down and 6 for Mineola. And apparently Howe's going to get the football back here. There's 1:06 on the clock, 1:05, and Mineola's going to do the exact same thing Zach Hudson did a moment ago and call a timeout with 1 second remaining on the play clock. So Howe's going to get the football back here, under a minute left before the half. Back in a moment.
In this very football season, we will experience extreme heat followed by the changing of the leaves and finally feel the cold chill of the November rain. Life changes, and sometimes it changes too fast. When you lose a loved one, you need a place of comfort and trust. Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory of Van Alstyne will provide you with that care. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins invite you to talk to their caring staff. They take pride in their responsibility to lighten your burden as you take the first steps towards healing.
Welcome back. 58 seconds left to go before the half. 14-0. Mineola leading Howe at the moment. Howe about to get the football back. Now, the question is, Howe's offense, we talked about this prior to the game, they're not a quick scoring offense. They love to drive and take time off the clock. But if they're going to score here, they're going to have to be a quick play offense.
They are going to have to score quick.
And here's the punt as Crawford bangs it pretty deep. This is a great punt. All the way down inside the 35-yard line. And Howe's going to start right there from their own 35, needing 65 yards to go with 51 seconds to do it in. Man, oh man. And not a big play, throwing the football type of offense. You're going to have to break one or two. And Mineola has outstanding speed.
It's been a good ball game tonight.
Mineola averaging 48 points per game, have 14 so far tonight. As we're 51 seconds away from the half. Wall goes under center, sends a man in motion. Wall keeps it right over Chase Harvey, the center, and he will pick up maybe one. And Howe seems poised to kind of take this one into the house. Going to get the football back to start the second half.
Again, about 1 yard.
Aaron Stanford and Cameron Wise made the stop for Mineola.
They'll give him a yard as Cade Courtney brings the play in. Howe moving left to right on that left hash from their own 36-yard line. 21 seconds on the clock. They're going to have to snap it with about 4 seconds left. And a victory formation, if you will, as Wall takes a knee, and that's the end of the first half. Howe, your Bulldogs trail 14-0 here at the half as Mineola averages 48. Howe shut out so far in the first half. Looking for more in the second half. We'll be back right after this.
Do you love coffee? Wish there was a local coffee shop to study, work, and get the best coffee drinks and baked goods in Texas? Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne is your dream come true. Carrie's Coffee Company serves the highest quality organic coffee and espresso drinks like cafe mocha, caramel macchiato, and cappuccino, plus iced coffee frappes with your favorite flavor. Visit Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne next to the post office, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to noon, and Saturday, 7 a.m. to noon.
Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic in Howe for half-price shakes after 8 and open until midnight. Home games only.
Where you get great food and big smiles, and a little message for our Howe Bulldog football players. Go Bulldogs, fight Bulldogs, win, win, win. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Welcome back as we are at the half. Let me update that. I always forget to do that, so let me update that for all of you scoreboard watchers out there. It is halftime, and Mineola leads 14-0 as we'll recap it for you here. Mineola got the football first because Howe won the toss, elected to defer because they want the football to start the second half, which they're going to get. Mineola went 65 yards on 8 plays. They actually started the game with a 5-yard penalty, but then their outstanding quarterback, Jeremiah Crawford, 5'9", 190-pound senior with lots of playoff experience, went 22 yards for a first down, and he capped off the drive, started it and ended it on an 11-yard touchdown run right over the right tackle. And Mineola took the early lead 7-0 with 7:45 left to go in the first quarter. Howe got the football and went 7 plays, drove up about 28 yards but had to punt. Mineola took over with 4:23 left to go in the first. They had to punt after 3 and out. Howe got the football back, 3 and out. They punted. Mineola took it with 31 seconds left to go in the first quarter and ended up having to punt it again back to Howe. Let me make sure of that. I believe that's right. And then the Howe Bulldogs took over with 11:17 left to go in the second quarter at their own 20-yard line, drove up to the 45, and then Riggs fumbled. And that set up a touchdown by Mineola, where they had to drive only 7 plays, 51 yards, and a 1-yard touchdown by Perkins. And that gave Mineola a 14-0 lead with 5:41 left to go before the half. Howe got the football back with 5:41 left to go in the second. Did drive 7 plays, but had to punt. They were stymied down around the Mineola 38-yard line. Mineola had a chance with 2:32 on the clock, but had to punt once again. Howe's defense has played really outstanding. They've done just, about as good as you can do against this Mineola team, but, when you hand them the football at midfield, you're asking for trouble. And Mineola did have to punt. They gave it back to Howe with 51 seconds left. Howe decided, nope, let's take a knee here from their own 36-yard line, and that's where we are. We are at the half. Mineola's band is about to be on the field. We'll let you listen to them. But, Michael, what an outstanding first half for Howe's defense. The offense has been stymied, has been able to do really not much of anything, but the defense has been the bright spot tonight.
Yes, they have. And, for a team that averages 48 points, 14 is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good for the Bulldogs. And I say we come back out and see what happens.
Well, I hope that the defense will keep doing what they do. And for Howe Bulldog fans that are listening, and if you're listening to this broadcast, you most certainly are. And that's going to be the key, is holding them. When you have to shut out Mineola, you're asking for a whole lot.
Yes, you are.
So if you give up 14 again in the second half, you're giving up 28, which means you've got to put 29 on the board or more here in the second half for Howe. The odds of that seem unreal with what we've seen in the first half. However, this same team at this same stadium did something remarkable a year ago
They sure did.
And came from behind at the half and won that football game 43-33. It's going to take some kind of an effort like that here in the second half. And Mineola Band is just about ready to play. We'll let you listen to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, now introducing the Howe High School Marching Band, the Pride of Howe. Band officers are President Haley White, Vice President and Guard Captain Casey Taylor, Secretary and Woodland Squad Leader Nicole Casey, Representatives and Squad Leader Madison Lozier, Michaela Doty, Bethany Masters and Greg Snyder, Logan Captain is Aaron Tyler. Other leadership team members are Shelly Armstrong, Kelsey Pierce, and Natalie Murphy. Band is under the field direction of senior drum major Haley Dwyer. Tonight, the band will perform the first two parts of their UIL contest show, What Dreams Will Come. The student soloist is Isaac Huerta, and the trumpet soloist is Greg Snyder. Drum major, is your band ready? Okay, Bulldog fans, let's spell it out. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Give me an H. Give me an O.
If you haven't been to downtown Howe lately, you might be surprised. All the buildings are full, including the unique retail experiences of Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium. Located at 107 and 109 East Haining Street, the two antique and gift shops offer unique items that are rarely available in the Howe area, but with Howe area prices. Come and enjoy this trip back in time to the Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium, open noon to 8, Thursdays through Saturday. Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium.
What is Cabinet Home Theater? Do we only do those big fancy media rooms? Heck no. We started in 1978 installing TV antennas. Guess what? We still do and get over 40 Dallas channels that way for our customers. Along the way, we had requests to install speakers, mount TVs, or install dish, so now we do it all. From hooking up a TV with a soundbar to whole house audio with all the bells and whistles. Visit CabinerHT.com to see all we have to offer or call 903-892-3499.
And now it's time for the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs Head Coaches Show with Zach Hudson.
Coach, area champions 2 out of 3.
Okay, we're visiting now with the offensive line, perhaps maybe the best offensive line in school history. And it all starts up the middle with the center, Chase Harvey. Ball's in your hands, ever play. You got a new quarterback in Riggs. Has that changed anything, maybe the cadence or something like that?
Yes, sir. In the first game when Wall went down with the new cadence, I actually had about 3 or 4 false snaps getting used to Riggs.
Now, let's turn it over to Clay Marshall. You and Matt over on that right side form a pretty big wall. And a lot of times when the game's on the line, a big play, they go right behind you guys. And how much confidence does that give you?
We have all the confidence in the world. I mean, we have 3 years, 4 years for him under our belt, so we know what we're doing. We know how to work together, and we wouldn't want it any other way. We want the ball coming behind us.
Matt, you're maybe the smartest kid on the field and probably the biggest kid on the field. You're listed as a tight end, but I have a feeling it's that run game that you prefer the most.
Oh, absolutely. Running down the field ain't my favorite because I am the biggest, but we didn't do too good freshman year with the spread, so I'm kind of not too happy with throwing the ball, but last 3 years with the slot T running, we've had great success, so I love that.
Tanner Hartsfield, Mr. Pull. Grisham constantly follows you through the hole. A lot of times he has his hand on your jersey as you go through the hole. And he now has the most touchdowns in school history. I bet that, kind of feels like your record too. Do you feel that way?
I feel like it's not just me, but it's the whole offensive line. And most of the time when I do pull for him, he kind of grabs me, just tries to throw me, not really hold on. He's just trying to throw me.
Connor Jackson will not play tonight, got an injured foot, so in steps Landry Elvington. And Landry, no black belt for you, but it's been kind of different. You've been playing multiple positions, now you step in full time at this guard. How will that feel?
It feels about the same because I wasn't much of a receiving swingman because I have hands of stone. So I like the blocking portion of that better anyway, so I like to do it full time now at guard.
Tim Helpenstell, left tackle. Your family members, you've got a big military family background, and I would imagine that helps out when you come out to that battleground on the football field.
Yes, sir. I'm definitely proud of that, and proud of my father and my family, and just trying to make them proud by doing my best on the field is what I'm doing.
Clay, what's the key to beating Mineola tonight?
We just got to be more physical. This will definitely be the biggest team we've played all year, but I know we can. If we're tougher than they are, and we just go out there and play our game, and they're not going to be able to handle it. At the end of the day, it's what we do.
Matt, regional championship game tonight. No Howe team has ever won 3 playoff games. How special would it be to win this game tonight?
Well, as freshman year, we had a losing season, 8-2, and then we came back and we started winning. So setting records all these years, all these records we're setting, it'd be really great to just set the best one of all.
Tanner, 6 goal footballs for you and several other of your teammates. That ties a record. And how special is that for you to have so much success up here through high school?
It means the world to us. We all have a goal in mind to get the gold football, and now we have a goal to beat the record of getting 7.
Chase, you're a part of what possibly, or you think now, is the best offensive line in school history. How special is that to be a part of that?
It's pretty great as stepping in. This is my first year at full year on varsity and get to start on the line, so it's a nice year.
Landry, I know you're kind of the new kid on the offensive line full time, but do you think the running backs appreciate you guys?
I think they do. They tell us all the time that they appreciate us blocking for them and stuff, and they don't take all the credit when people say stuff. So, I mean, yeah.
Tim, who's the fastest of the offensive linemen?
Thinking Tanner, Hartsfield probably.
How hard is it for you to say that?
It's not that hard. I mean, we've had our races, so we know. I mean, Matt does give him a run for his money, but Tanner still pulls through.
All right, guys. How much fun would it be to win tonight?
Super fun.
I mean, we just want to win so bad. I mean, we've heard people say best team in Howe history the last few years, but to really do this would kind of put our stamp on it and really prove that to be so.
We just want to do what's never been done before. Just be the best.
What may be the greatest thing about this offensive line is the fact that they kid each other, and their chemistry is extraordinary.
Tanner's quite slow, so most of the time when his hand's on his jersey, it's him pushing him out of the way.
It says bobblehead.
Hey, I mean,
you can barely even walk.
They don't push me. They push him.
Okay, who eats the most out of this offensive line?
Definitely strong side. I don't know. I can give you a run for your money.
Are you kidding me? I got y'all beat.
Strong side.
You weigh 150 pounds.
I don't know. I think me and Landry can take it.
I think we should go by weight.
Wait, no, Tim did eat the most of it.
Yeah, the average over here is 300.
Okay.
Y'all can't even get that.
Y'all weigh more.
Are they weigh more, eat more, and talk more?
I think the hardest part, we go through 2 days and everything, and it's all incredibly tough, but doing Tim's homework for him so he'll pass every 6 months, that's probably the toughest thing I can do.
I'm still the fastest.
You tackle Tyler more than anybody else.
You like push you off bars.
Connor gets in my way.
Yeah, we got Coach Hartsfield over here.
Definitely thinks he's a coach.
Give me 10 up downs. And you go get a lap.
You tried to argue with Hudson.
I'm with my dad today.
It is fun to see you and Hudson interact with each other. Tanner and Hudson.
He's my dad.
I mean,
we just got that.
Is he like the favorite son?
Yeah, definitely. And it's like the one person when they disagree, Hudson's not automatically right. There's kind of a conversation, and then he's right. But
I at least get my say so.
Tanner stands a chance, and it's the only kid on a 38-man team, so it's kind of cool to watch.
Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
28.
Welcome back to Royce City ISD Stadium. Lonnie Walker along with Michael Mosier. And the Bulldogs back out in the end zone doing their warm-ups and stretches. And I want to say hello to Jay Lindley out there in internet land. Jay did a great job today broadcasting the Gunner Tiger win. And a big hello out there to Jay, who's listening tonight.
Hello, Jay.
We have some other scores to pass along. And in the Class 3A Division I playoffs, it appears that Wall is going to take down Littlefield 49-7. That's up in the Region 1 bracket. Brock, of course, over Muleshoe, 27-13. That's in the third quarter. Cameron Yo, who's always good, leading Teague in the third quarter, 10-6. Hallettsville over Rice High School, 21-7. Yoakum over Goliad, 20-7. And then, of course, the final last night, Malakoff moves on as they beat Rockdale, 27-14. Tomorrow, Pottsboro will take on Farmersville, and the winner of this one will play the winner of that one. Tomorrow, that's at Allen at Eagle Stadium. That's a massive, massive place there in Allen, Texas. Very expensive stadium. As we're awaiting the Bulldogs to run through their tunnel, you're about to hear them pretty soon. That horn will be very loud as the Bulldogs are inside the tunnel, awaiting to come back on the field. The Mineola Yellowjackets doing about the same thing on the far side. They are standing just outside of their tunnel. Again, Mineola in all white pants, white jerseys, white helmets with the orange stripes as they come first. There's the Yellowjackets back out on the field. The Bulldogs are rocking that tunnel on the near side on our right, the south side of this stadium. And they're just about ready to come out as well, as Howe making a lot of noise. Here come the Bulldogs.
Well, you've said it before. Pull your socks up. Let's go.
Well, it's going to have to be a great second half for Howe. One of the history books as they trail 14-0 against a very, very good team in the Mineola Yellowjackets, averaging 48 points per game, have 14 so far at the half. Problem is Howe averages 33 points per game and have nothing. The Howe offense is going to have to get on track again, and going to have to do it with their senior quarterback Brandon Wall, as Mason Riggs fumbled a couple of times in the first half. He's out. Brandon Wall comes back in. Wall had a dislocated shoulder a couple of weeks ago. Riggs stepped in beautifully, has done a great job, but they go back to Wall here and trying to play perfect. They're going to have to play perfect. The Bulldogs getting the ball as Sorensen about ready to boot this one away at the 40-yard line. Moving left to right is the kick. It's going to be a short pooch kick, going to go about the 22-yard line. And that's Brent Masters out of 35 up to the 40, to the 45, up to the 50-yard line. And Howe starts in great shape after Brent Masters, with his very quick steps, goes up the near hash from right to left. And Howe will start at the midfield stripe, 50-yard line.
Cameron Sorensen made the stop for Mineola.
So here come the Bulldogs, and the key to win this second half is holding on to the football one and continue to play excellent defense, as one of Mineola's touchdowns came on a turnover. Here's Masters bouncing out to the right side, turns the corner for a moment and has about 3 yards inside Mineola territory to the 47-yard line.
Gain of 3 yards.
Aaron Stanford and Curtis London made the stop.
Second down and 7 coming up as we're now in the third quarter. I will change that scoreboard for you. It's no longer halftime. Howe taking their time in the huddle and now walk to the line of scrimmage. Third quarter action here for Howe. Wall under center, Masters in motion, handoff left side, Grisham fights through for a couple and close to a first down for Andrew Griffin at the 41-yard line. Again, Griffin runs very similar to Grisham. They're both very similar in stature. Grisham may be a little taller, but they run very similar. And it's going to be third and 1 at the 41-yard line, a 6-yard gain for Griffin. Again, Jaden Matthews out tonight, not playing. Injured his knee last week. Handoff right side. Griffin again, first down. Pushes his way inside the 35 to the 33-yard line and move the sticks with 10:40 on the clock.
Noah Sneed made the stop for Mineola.
They'll spot it at the 34. Give Griffin 5 as Ty Harvey brings the play in. 1st and 10, Howe really needs to score right here on this opening possession in the second half. Moving right to left on the right hash. 1st and 10. Wall goes under center. Masters in motion. Wall's going to keep it over right guard. Asim. He's got the right hash moving forward close to a first down at the 24-yard line.
Ian Thompson holding on for dear life.
Wall just went right over right guard, which is Clay Marshall. Or Tanner Hartsfield, rather. And is going to set up a 1st and 10. They'll call it a first down. So move the sticks for Brandon Wall on first down. And Howe has the ball inside the 25 at the 24-yard line. 9:56 on the third quarter clock. And marching, handoff, left side, and that's Grisham. And he's inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And all of a sudden, the Howe Bulldogs look like the Howe Bulldogs.
Yes, they do.
Marching down to the 17-yard line. 6 plays so far.
Cameron Sorensen and Drayson Tenner in on the stop.
So we have had an awakening from the offense. 2nd and 4 coming up. 2 men in the backfield. Wall hands off left side. Grisham again to the 15-yard line. And Grisham does what he does, and that's get about 5 or 6 yards on every play.
Ian Thompson made the stop for Mineola.
They'll spot it in between the 14 and the 15, so actually Griffin only gets about 3 there. So 9:01 on the clock as it's rolling, and Howe facing a 3rd and 1. This is obviously 4-down territory for the Bulldogs. Wall goes under center. He's going to get it himself. Left side, first down to the 11 or 12-yard line.
Ian Thompson, Cameron Wise in on the stop.
Spotting the ball at the 12-yard line. It's a 1st and 10. Howe can get another first down at about the 2-yard line. Clock now at 8:39. This drive started at midfield. Now at the 12-yard line, moving right to left. Wall goes under center. 1 man in the backfield. Now a man in motion. Handoff left side Griffin. And he barrels over a defender at the 8-yard line on his way to the 7. 5 yards for Griffin.
Michael Drennan made the stop for Mineola.
And now, again, Howe doing what Howe does. 10th play of the drive coming up. 4 minutes gone on this drive. Harvey will split out right, way past the hash mark as the ball's on the left hash. And now Grisham will go way out with him on the hash mark on the right side. Wall goes under center. He's going to hand off to Masters, looking for some room at about the 5. Stop dead in his tracks at about the 7. No gain on the play, and that will stymie the offense for just a moment and set up a 3rd and 5.
Cameron Sorensen in on the stop.
So the Bulldogs really need a big 3rd down play right here. You don't have to get all 5. You would like to, obviously, but you need to get 3 at least, maybe 4. 2 men in the backfield. Wall under center, handoff Griffin, left side. He is in, it's Grisham! Gobble, gobble, gobble! Happy Thanksgiving, Grisham! It's touchdown time in Texas. Howe cuts the lead 14-6, awaiting the PAT.
That was a great run by Tyler. Great blocking by the offensive line.
You needed 3 or 4 to set up a 4th down and short. Grisham took all 7 and punched it in. And now Honecker on for the PAT. Ross to hold. The kick is up. It's high. It's long. It's good. Howe trails 14-7 as they cut it in half. 7:23 on the clock. We'll be right back.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic in Howe for half-price shakes after 8 and open until midnight. Home games only.
Where you get great food and big smiles, and a little message for our Howe Bulldog football players. Go Bulldogs, fight Bulldogs, win, win, win. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
If you haven't been to downtown Howe lately, you might be surprised. All the buildings are full, including the unique retail experiences of Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium. Located at 107 and 109 East Haining Street, the two antique and gift shops offer unique items that are rarely available in the Howe area, but with Howe area prices. Come and enjoy this trip back in time to the Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium, open noon to 8, Thursdays through Saturday. Howe Mercantile and Texas Home Emporium.
Well, Howe cuts it in half, 14-7. They do exactly what needed to be done on that opening drive. 11 plays, 50 yards, and took 4 minutes and 37 seconds off the clock in doing so. Punched it in with a 7-yard touchdown by Tyler Grisham, his 23rd rushing touchdown of the year. And Mineola now will take possession at the 23, and the Bulldogs really need a turnover right here. As here's an onside kick. Howe says they have it. It's at the 47. The Bulldogs have it.
Brendan Ross coming up with the ball.
Howe has the football at the Mineola 47-yard line. Brendan Ross comes up with it. What a great, outstanding call by Zach Hudson, the Riverboat Gambler. Threw them all on the table right there.
Yes, he did.
So the ball at the 49 in Mineola territory. Woo, how about that one? Onside kick gives Howe the ball at the 49-yard line, and Howe just got done with an 11-play, 50-yard drive. Here they come again. Wall goes under center. 2 men in the backfield. Masters in motion. Handoff left side Griffin. He's got the 45. He's got the 40. Dragging him into the 38-yard line. All the momentum has swung Howe's way on an 11-yard run by Andrew Griffin.
Noah Sneed made the stop for Mineola.
Seth Siebold brings the play in at the 38-yard line. Howe moving right to left. Black tops, white pants, black helmets. Wall goes under center. Handoff Grisham, left side. He's got the 35 knocked back there. It's going to be maybe a gain of 2 to the 35, which might be a 3-yard gain, and it is. 2nd down and 7 coming up, 6:42 on the third quarter clock.
Michael Drennan made a stop for Mineola.
Ty Harvey brings the play in. I'm going to have a heart attack.
No, don't do that.
His cousin Chase breaks the huddle, comes to the line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line. Left hash, Wall goes under center. 1 man in the backfield. Masters goes in motion, handoff right side Griffin. And he falls forward to the 30-yard line. They'll say his knee hit at the 31, which will set up a 3rd and 3. 4-yard gain for Griffin.
Michael Drennan again on the stop for Mineola.
Howe would love to tie this game with about a minute left to go in the third. There's 6:03 on the clock right now. Howe starting to do what they do. They've come out on fire since the half. 5:55 on the clock. 2 men in the backfield. Masters in motion again from right to left. Handoff left side. That's Griffin. And he's just like Tyler Grisham as he bulls his way to the 26-yard line. Howe all of a sudden has 2 bell cows in the backfield. First down for Howe.
Michael Drennan again on the stop for Mineola.
Siebold brings the play in here. Wall will go under center. 2 men split out wide to the right. Wall's going to keep it over left guard. Not much doing there. Maybe a yard to the 24-yard line.
Ian Thompson and Cameron Wise.
7th play of the drive coming up for the Bulldogs. 2nd down and 9. 5:10 on the clock. Harvey brings the play in. Ball sets on the left hash. The butt of the ball is on the 25-yard line. 2 men in the backfield. Handoff left side Grisham. 25, 24, 23, 22-yard line.
Aaron Stanford and Michael Drennan in on the stop.
So here comes the Bulldogs with a 3rd and what appears to be about 6, a long 6. Maybe even close to 7. The scoreboard says 7. 4:30 on the clock. Wall under center. Man in motion. And this is going to be a handoff. Griffin left side. Breaks through. First down to the 8-yard line.
Cameron Sorensen in on the stop.
A 14-yard pickup. Well, no, I take that back. I had my yard mark mixed up. They're at the 14-yard line.
Great block by Tim Heppenstall.
So an 8-yard gain. 4:05 on the clock. Everybody tight. Handoff. Masters on the reverse near side. Caught from behind and brought down right at the line of scrimmage at about the 13-yard line.
Devin Gogan in on the stop.
They'll spot it in between the 13 and the 14-yard line as we hit 3 minutes and 45 seconds on the third quarter clock. Howe trailing by a touchdown, 14-7. Trying to punch it in here after a big onside kick. Recovery after that touchdown. Andrew Griffin in the backfield. Masters goes in motion. Handoff left side. Griffin. He's got the 10-yard line. So that's going to set up a third. Well, they'll spot. Let's see where they spot it. They spot it at the 10. Need to get to the 4 for a first. 11th play of the drive coming up for Howe. The drive started with 7:23 on the clock. We're at the 3-minute mark. Griffin in the backfield along with Grisham. And a timeout's been called by Mineola. We will take 1-2 back in a moment with more Howe Bulldogs football.
Tired of paying for channels you don't watch? Cabinet Home Theater and Dish got you covered. The new Flex Pack lets you customize your own package. For $39.99 per month, the Flex Pack includes 50 popular channels plus an additional channel pack of your choice. You can choose from locals, news, kids, and sports. Give us a call, 903-892-3499, or go to CavenderTV.com. You can get the Hopper 3 DVR for only $10 a month more. Give us a call.
Think back to the best fried pies you've ever had. It won't compare to Sweetie Pies in Van Alstyne. Sweetie Pies has handmade apricot, apple, peach, buttermilk, chocolate, coconut, and lemon fried pies that melt in your mouth. Located at 120 South Main Street in Van Alstyne on the east side of downtown. Give them a call at 972-821-1508. You must try Sweetie Pie's signature fried pie, Sawdust. I'm not even kidding.
3rd down and 6 coming up for Howe. 2:58 on the third quarter clock. And the officials now blow the whistle. Howe's going to come straight on the field at the 10-yard line. 10 yards away from punching it in. Wall goes under center. Handoff left side. Griffin. And he's going to fall forward. Not enough for a first down, but close enough for striking distance at the 6-yard line. Howe needs to get to the 4 for a first.
Aaron Stanford and Cameron Sorensen made the stop.
So 4th down and Riverboat Gambler time at the 2-yard line. Mineola waving their arms to their crowd, trying to get their stands on their feet. And they do. Howe, the Bulldog fans are on their feet. Both sides at full throat. 4th and 2. Handoff, left side. Grisham fighting, close to it. Close to it. I think he's got it. One official is at the 3. It's going to be close. Mineola jumping up and down as if they have stopped him. However, it appears it's a first down for Howe. A new set of downs at the 3-yard line. Grisham, you go to the well, and you go to the well, and you go to the well, and there he is. So,
Ty Harvey brought the play in.
So the ball at the 3-yard line. 2 men in the backfield. Wall under center, handoff Grisham again, left side. This time his legs are cut out from underneath him at the 3-yard line, no gain. 2nd down and goal coming up.
Noah Sneed made the stop.
1:43 on the third quarter clock. Howe trying to punch it in and tie the game. 3 plays to do it. Second down and goal from the 3. Wall under center. Man in motion is Masters. And they're going to hand off to Griffin. And he's going to go over left guard to about the 2, a gain of 1. And everything stiffens up a little bit around that end zone.
Tracy Murphy made the stop for Mineola.
15th play of the drive coming up for Howe, which has taken 6 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock so far. And Howe has done exactly what they wanted to do. Mineola has not even touched the football in the third quarter. 2 men in the backfield. 3rd and goal. Wall. He's going to fumble the football, picks it up at the 10, runs for his life, and going to be brought down there at the 10-yard line. A huge, disastrous play as Wall put the ball on the turf. And now it'll be 4th and goal from the 10, and Honaker will come on. So Honaker will try to bang it through from the right hash, which will be a 28-yarder. Ross to hold. It's on the tee. The kick is up. It's high, it's long, and it is good. No, it's no good. Wide left, I believe. Honaker misses the 28-yarder, and that's not good.
Yeah, that looked good from here, but we're so high up.
It must have been just wide to the left a little bit. Howe put together a 15-play drive, but comes up just empty. Another fumble, and that's the problem, putting the ball on the turf. That has really been the problem for Howe so far tonight. And it's not so much the turnover fumble, but just putting the ball on the turf has really cost him. And here is Crawford touching the ball for the first time in the second half, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain from their own 20-yard line.
Andrew Griffin in on the stop.
And that will be the end of the third quarter. Howe trailing 14-7. We'll be back right after this.
The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
The type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask.
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
When people come here, it's something they can be proud of.
A word from Douglas Propane.
We had received a call from Cable One back when Howe had the tornado come through. Their tower site back on the hill runs a propane backup generator. My service staff got the call late in the afternoon. We tried to get up there and get the gas to it. The ground was too soft for our bobtail to get back there, so we put it in four-wheel drive, and we actually took 100-pound cylinders and transferred them into the larger tank to get them through until we could get the larger truck back there.
Well, we're now in the fourth quarter. Howe trails by a touchdown. Had a golden opportunity a moment ago. Had it inside the 5-yard line. Matter of fact, it was pretty close to Griffin getting in at one point. Wall tried to pitch it, and he fumbled it. And Honaker missed a 28-yard field goal. Here we are. Crawford again in the gun. Now moving right to left. Crawford throws it out right side. It's going to be complete to Hudgens, who tries to escape a defender and does on his way to the 30-yard line. Seabolt in coverage. He'll spot it at the 29, just shy of the first down.
Says Seabolt and Tanner Hartsfield made the stop.
Howe had a 15-play drive, but came up empty. And Mineola only touched the ball twice in the third quarter, doing exactly what Howe needed to do, but couldn't punch it in on that second try. Shotgun formation for Mineola on the right hash at their own 29-yard line. Needing a yard for a first. Crawford's going to fight forward, get the first down. Right up the gut, and it'll be a new set of downs at the 31-yard line.
Clay Marshall and Mike Heppenstall made the stop.
11:48 left to go in the game. Howe needs a turnover. Howe needs really to get the ball back and do what they've been doing, but need to finish that drive off. We're not able to finish it off.
Yeah, we do not. The Bulldogs don't need to let Mineola score.
One man in the backfield along with Crawford. Heading towards the north end zone. It's going to be a handoff up the left side over left guard. And that'll be Chance Perkins on the carry. He's good for about 4 yards, but it appears to be a holding call against Mineola, says our spotter, Stephen Braswell. And that's a big penalty. The spot foul, if it's a spot foul, is 1 yard past the line of scrimmage, so that'll be a pretty big loss. Chop block. And that will be against Mineola and back them way up. And the official walks all the way back inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. And now they'll mark it at the 16. They'll pick it up, move it back just a little bit further, 16-yard line. Mineola, right to left, leading by a touchdown, 14-7 here in the fourth quarter. I need to change that, don't I, Michael?
Yes, sir.
And this is going to be Crawford dropping back, setting up the screen. Near side, brought down, a great play in the backfield, Andrew Griffin.
Good job, Andrew Griffin. What a stop. That's a good stop. It's a stop that we need, or the Bulldogs need for sure.
That was a great play by Griffin. You can't pull him on the middle screen. People have tried, people have failed. Second down and 29 coming up for Mineola. Howe has to hold right here. Anytime you have that quarterback, Crawford, you have a chance to pick up big yardage. He's done it so far tonight on big runs up the middle. Trips to the far side, and here he goes up the middle. Lots of room to the 15, to the 20. Escapes one tackle, gets a block at the 22-yard line and brought down at the 21. And on the tackle for the Bulldogs is Tanner Hartsfield, the senior captain linebacker at the 22. So a big tackle right there eliminates a huge play. So the ball spotted at the 21-yard line. Third down now, and right about 20, thereabouts. Right about 20. Trips to the right side. This is where they ran right up the middle a moment ago. And this time Crawford rolls out right. Looks like he's going to throw down the field, and it's going to be incomplete at the 40-yard line. Ty Harvey in coverage, but Crawford one-hopped his receiver, and it falls incomplete. Fourth down and 20 coming up in punt time for Mineola with 9:44 on the clock.
And Matt Griffin was giving chase there. He had to hurry that throw.
So now, obviously, Mineola, backed up deep in their own territory on fourth down, is going to punt. And Crawford will drop back to do so. Howe will not send anybody back to return, as they're not taking any chances. And now Crawford drops back, and he will punt it away. A low end-over-end kick bounces at the 48-yard line in Howe territory, keeps rolling inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. And Howe will take over at their own 33 with 9:33 on the clock left in this game. Needing to score to tie the game.
Preston Langford down the ball for Mineola.
How come our window fogs up so much every
I
week?
don't know.
Is that me?
Nope.
A lot of hot air up here. So here comes Howe at the 33-yard line, moving left to right on the far hash. Wall goes under center, sends a man in motion. That's Masters. Handoff right side, Grisham. And he will surge forward for about 4 yards to the 38-yard line.
Michael Drennan in on the stop.
Maybe 5 on the carry. Ty Harvey will bring the play in. This is what Howe needs to do, is take a lot of time off the clock to score right here. Second down and 6. Handoff Masters from far to near. and he's met at the 40-yard line, and he will surge forward close to a first down at the 42-yard line. Gain of 4 will set up a 3rd and 1.
Drayson Tenner made the stop.
At this point, you have 2 bell cows, and Grisham and Griffin. Which one gets it here? It appears to be Griffin over left side. It's going to be close, very close, right at the marker. One's spotting the 43.
Noah Sneed in on the stop.
They may pull this one here as the ball spotted at the 43. We haven't had a chain pull yet tonight. We're going to get one right here, I think. Yep, we're going to have an official timeout. We're going to pull this sucker with 8:17 left to go in the game. Howe's, if they don't have it, we'll have a 4th and inches.
Okay, our inches man here, he's taking a look. Let's see what he comes up with.
Stephen Braswell says first down.
He says first down.
So let's see what they pull here.
First down.
It is a first down.
Great job. Good job, Stephen.
That's a big one.
He's throwing his hands up like, hey, I knew that all along.
We have a great ball game here tonight. Howe was about a yard away from tying the game earlier. Were forced away when Wall tried to pitch it out. Nobody was there, fumbled the ball, and then missed a 28-yard field goal. Here's Masters on the reverse from far to near, and he will get back to the line of scrimmage and then gain 2. So that takes the ball to the 45-yard line.
Michael Drennan and Sean Franklin made the stop.
6th play of the drive coming up as Howe is 5 yards shy of midfield and facing a 2nd down and 8 with 7:55 left on the clock. Harvey and Siebold bring the play in. Actually, that was Clay Marshall, not Harvey. 65, not 85. Here's a handoff, left side, Grisham. And he's looking for room and can't get much, only maybe a yard up to the 46-yard line. And now all of a sudden, Mineola is starting to turn Howe away a little bit. This is looking more like the first and second quarter.
Drayson Tenner made the stop.
Here's a big play right here. 3rd down and 7. Howe needs to get some yardage right here, at least set up 4th and short. Wall goes under center. And movement in the backfield, I believe Grisham moved. Griffin moved a little bit in the backfield, and I believe Clay Marshall moved just a little bit as well. So what was already a tough, steep situation with 3rd and 7 will now be 3rd and 12. And the ball is pushed back to the 41-yard line.
Going to move the ball back close to the 41-yard line.
6th play of the drive. 7:04 on the clock. 3rd and 12. Ty Harvey coming on the field, hoping to bring in a magic play for Howe. And now he'll split out to the near side. Ball at the 41-yard line. Howe's going to hand off to Masters on the reverse. Cuts it up the left hash. And is going to gain maybe 5 yards at the 46-yard line. He gets the yardage back. They lost on the penalty. That would have been great, but they did get the penalty. It would be 4th and 2, however, right now it's 4th and 7. And no sign of punting right here for Howe, as it's all on the table with 6:20 to go. Everything is on the table. All the cards are laid out. Zach Hudson going forward on 4th and 7 with 6:10 on the clock. And now a timeout has been called by Howe. We'll take 1-2. We'll be right back.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
6:09 on the clock, and everything comes down to this. Howe facing a 4th and 7. And Zach Hudson is laying every card he has on the table. Dale West talks to the offense, and here they come. And now everybody splits out wide right. And we're talking about Matt Griffin. We're talking about, and now a timeout's been called by Mineola. As Howe had a lot of cards on the table there as Matt Griffin, Tyler Grisham, and Tanner Hartsfield sprinted to the near hash in trips formation. So you have two linemen, or actually one lineman, one tight end officially, and Tyler Grisham all came out, sprinted to the near side, set up in trips formation. Mineola said, I don't like that at all. Timeout. And here we are.
Wow.
So now you think Howe's probably not going to show that card.
Right.
You turn one card over and you flip another one. And now it appears Mason Riggs is coming on the field, and the punt team may be coming on the field.
It looks like Mason Riggs and Brandon Wall are both out there.
Brennan Ross, looks like the punt team's coming out.
Woo. Lots of activity on those two plays.
There's a whole lot of stuff going on right there in between the helmets and in between the headsets. As now Brandon Wall will try to punt this one away, and Howe appears to rely on their defense unless Wall does something here, and he is going to punt it. And it will bounce at about the 17 and die right there at the, that's actually the 22. I got my yards mixed up again.
Brennan Ross down the ball for the Bulldogs.
So there is 6:01 on the clock. Mineola will take over at their own 22-yard line. And Howe, if you're going to win tonight, you've got to stop Mineola on this possession right here pretty quickly.
That's right. Now, what did you say last week? Pull your socks up. Let's go.
Grab your socks and pull. Let's go.
Wow, what a ball game.
It's an outstanding football game with two outstanding teams. Lots of good coaching on both sides. As Crawford will send out two receivers to the right, two receivers to the near side. One man as a slot, but Crawford is all alone. He's going to keep it right over the center. He runs up, is bumped, but surges forward for about 5 yards.
Clay Marshall made the stop for the Bulldogs.
5 yards on first down. He'll take it to the 27 with 5:49 on the clock.
Yeah, he run all over his lineman, number 52, Cameron Wise. He was all over him.
I believe Howe has 2 timeouts. I believe. You may have to start thinking about that pretty soon. Clock rolling now at 5:27. Ball at the 27-yard line. Mineola taking their time, of course. Man in motion, and that's Perkins getting the carry. Running from left to right all the way to the 30. Look out, 35, first down and more to the 40 and down at the 42-yard line.
Cooper Akins and Tanner Hartsfield made the stop.
That was actually London, Curtis London on the carry. He was lined up in the left slot, went in motion from left to right, and took the handoff in motion, picked up the first down on his way to a 16-yard gain to the 43-yard line. 5:04 on the clock.
Looks like Clay Marshall, Mike Heppenstall, and maybe Cameron Blesseye lining up on the Bulldog front.
First and 10 for Mineola. Howe needs a stop. 2 receivers either side. Crawford all alone. Same play. London. This time Crawford's going to keep it instead of handing it, and he's got room to the 50, 45. Cuts near side to the 40. Lots of room to the 35, 30, 25, 20. Makes a move, cuts it inside to the 15, to the 10. Gets a great block, and he's into the end zone. No flags on the play, as at some point you knew Crawford would come into play in this football game, and he did right there. 57-yard run for Jeremiah Crawford. And that pretty much seals it, you would think, with 4:27 left to go in the game. Crawford, his second rushing touchdown of the night, extends the Mineola lead to 20-7, awaiting this PAT.
Wow.
Sorensen on to kick the PAT here. And it is high, a little bit to the right, and no good. Pushed it to the right just a little bit, 20-7. Mineola leads over Howe. However, there's a flag on the play. Let's check that.
So it looked like it went off the goal post.
Did not need a 3-play drive there. 3 plays and 78 yards for Mineola, and that was not what the doctor ordered. Apparently it's offsides Howe, which will move the ball a yard and a half closer. Now Mineola has the ball at the 1. They're still going to kick it. You know, just putting the ball on the turf has been really the backbreaker in this football game. Both quarterbacks have done so. And now Sorensen will get another chance here to up the Mineola lead. Right in the middle of the field. Kick is a banger right through. So now wipe off that one. And now it's 21-7, Mineola in the lead with 4:27 left. We'll be right back.
This very football season, we will experience extreme heat followed by the changing of the leaves and finally feel the cold chill of the November rain. Life changes, and sometimes it changes too fast. When you lose a loved one, you need a place of comfort and trust. Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory of Van Alstyne will provide you with that care. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins invite you to talk to their caring staff. They take pride in their responsibility to lighten your burden as you take the first steps towards healing.
Do you love coffee? Wish there was a local coffee shop to study, work, and get the best coffee drinks and baked goods in Texas? Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne is your dream come true. Carrie's Coffee Company serves the highest quality organic coffee and espresso drinks like cafe mocha, caramel macchiato, and cappuccino, plus iced coffee frappes with your favorite flavor. Visit Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne next to the post office, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to noon, and Saturday, 7 a.m. to noon.
Mineola with a 21-7 lead. And about to boom this one away with 4:27 left to go in the game. Sorensen with a long kick. This one's going to send Howe back to the 9-yard line. Up the left hash, Wall with lots of room. And he'll make his way to about the 35, 36-yard line, and Howe will set up shop right there. Not a lot of time to do so. 4:20 on the clock. So now, let's see, the ball will be spotted at the 35. And apparently Seth Siebold is down.
He's up now.
Okay, he's going to be fine now. All right, 4:20 on the clock. Howe moving left to right on the far hash. Ty Harvey brings the play in. You got to have something quickly right here, and another onside kick. Everybody tight. And now Grisham will split out with Harvey on the left side. And this will be Masters on the reverse, coming near side. Lots of room, and now he cuts it up. Is going to gain 6 yards to the 41-yard line.
Ian Thompson made the stop.
Mineola has lots of speed on defense, and they've been able to seal the edge there. Now Howe in a hurry-up wristband offense. Handoff. Grisham, left side. He's not going to go anywhere this time. A loss of a yard or two back to the 39-yard line. Grisham on the carry.
Cortland Sanchez in on the stop.
3:47 and rolling here in the fourth quarter. Howe facing a 3rd and 6. Kate Courtney brings the play in. 3:34, 3:33. Harvey with the ball in his hand. Now it's going to send Masters in motion. This is going to be a handoff left side, and that's Andrew Griffin. Gains maybe 1 or 2 up to the 40. And it appears Howe season rests now on a 4th and 5. And it's ironic that Howe's season rests on a 4th down, because that's how Zach Hudson loves to play it.
Yes, it is.
Howe's going to have to come up with a big 5-yard play at least right here. And everybody is tight. And Wall goes under center. Now here come the 3 to the near side again. Matt Griffin, Tanner Hartsfield, and Tyler Grisham. And now Masters goes split out wide to the left. And Wall wants to throw the football deep down the middle of the field. And Ty Harvey can't come up with it. A little miscommunication on where the ball should have gone. Harvey was kind of open or on the left hash straight up the field, but it falls incomplete. And now Mineola will take over on downs with 2:41 left to go in the game.
You know, we've seen Coach Hudson throw those cards on the table many times on 4th down.
And Matt Griffin will go into the game at nose guard. And Zach Daniels will check out. 2:41 on the clock. Howe has had so many chances in the second half. And one really costly turnover in the first half. And then we're unable to capitalize here in the third quarter on the second possession. And here's a handoff to London on the near side, brought down for a loss of about 5 at the 45-yard line.
Andrew Griffin and J.P. Queen in on the stop.
So Howe's going to have to start working on timeouts here. There's 2:22 on the clock. Ball spotted at the 44, loss of 4 on the play. And Mineola just trying to wrap this one up, put the bow on it. But Hudson not calling timeout there, letting this one run down. We're under 2 minutes now as Crawford goes in the gun. And he's going to run it up the middle. He's met in the backfield, and you think a timeout's coming here. Ball at the 46-yard line. And all of a sudden, Mineola is facing a 3rd and very long. Clock still rolling at $1:40.
Cameron Blesseye and Seth Seabolt in on the stop.
Clock rolls at 1:34. It's 3rd and 16 for Mineola, as they can snap it here with about 1:08 on the clock. So Howe apparently can get the football back as long as they'll call a timeout here coming up. Crawford in the gun, man in motion, and they'll give to him, and that is Perkins around the right edge. He's got a lot of room, and he will get out of bounds. I believe he'll stop the clock with 1:02 at about the 38-yard line.
Cooper Akins and Ty Harvey run him out of bounds.
So that'll stop it after a 9-yard gain to the 37. 1:02 on the clock, and Mineola did not want to do that. They did not want to stop that clock, but they did. Howe forced him out of bounds, and there's a $1:02 on the clock, trailing 21-7.
Oh, he's back in punt formation.
And it looks like Crawford will try to punt it here from the 45. And an end-over-end kick bounces, rolls to the 10, and stops dead right there, like it hit a puddle of mud at the 11-yard line. Howe will start at their own 11 on perhaps the last drive of the season. 56 seconds left to go in the game. Again, Howe had opportunities to tie the football game in the latter part of the third quarter. They were at the 1-yard line, trying to run a pitch to the right side. Brandon Wall put it on the turf, which took it back to the 10. Howe tried a 28-yard field goal, came up empty. And this is going to be a handoff to the right side. Not much doing there. A loss perhaps back to the 9-yard line, a 2-yard loss. 46 seconds on the clock.
Grayson Tenner.
I believe that was Masters on the carry on the reverse. Trying to hit that popper, but Masters has not been able to do that tonight. Too much speed on that Mineola defense. 30 seconds on the clock. Apparently Pottsboro is going to play Mineola next week. This will be a handoff to Grisham around the left side. Lowers the shoulder, runs behind the shoulder pads, gets his momentum out to the 14-yard line. A gain of 5. Yeah, let's not put the cart before the horse. Pottsboro's got to beat Farmersville first. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Howe, your Bulldogs are area champions, by-district champions, and have gone to the regional round for the second time in 3 years, but are stopped right there by a great Mineola team, 21-7 here at Royce City ISD Stadium. A tremendous season. And these seniors have a lot to be proud of. A lot of them have played for a very long time. This is Zach Hudson's first group he got as freshmen. Took them all the way through seniors. And what a transition Howe has made under Zach Hudson in those 4 seasons. What an outstanding football program Howe has turned into in the past 4 years.
Yes, they have. I am excited for what's to come, what we've seen. It's just going to get better from here.
Both teams are at midfield shaking hands. The good thing about tonight, there were no personal fouls at the end of the game. No one lost their cool at the end of the game. No one acted the fool at the end of the game. And Howe will come over to the near side with heavy hearts and helmets in their hands. And they will raise those helmets and look at the home crowd as the Bulldog band is ready to play the school song and the fight song.
We want to thank everyone for coming out to the Royce City ISD Stadium this evening and Tuesday. Our stadium has your playoff venue. We hope to see you again next year or next week. And the regional semifinal championship trophy is now being, congratulations to the Mineola Yellowjackets. And that trophy being presented by Bryce Carter Summers. Bryce Carter Summers is an 11-year-old sixth grader.
Well, that's the last time we will hear the school song from the marching band in 2016. Congratulations to the Mineola Yellowjackets for playing an outstanding game tonight. Lots of talent. Howe cut their average basically more than in half. Mineola averages 48 points per game. Howe held them to 21 tonight. Howe actually had a great chance to tie the football game at the end of the third quarter. Took the entire third quarter, got an onside. Matter of fact, started with the football in the third quarter, Michael. Drove all the way down the field on 11 plays and 50 yards to start the second half. Kicked an onside kick, got it back, and then drove all the way 15 plays down to the 2-yard line. Fumbled it back, recovered it at the 10, which set up a Bryce Honecker 28-yard field goal attempt that was just barely pushed to the left, apparently. And Mineola turned Howe away. So at some point, you do have to give Mineola some credit there on defense for turning Howe away. And they did that. And you know what? Bulldogs had a chance, and they'll always say we had a chance.
That's right.
You know, and no Bulldog team has ever advanced past 3 rounds in the playoffs. But, you know, there's always next year, Michael.
There is. There's always next year. You know, I hate it for the seniors. But you know what? They have nothing to be ashamed of. Absolutely nothing.
The Howe Bulldogs will lose to graduation. Cooper Akins, the starting cornerback. Jaden Matthews, who had over 1,300 yards rushing this year. They'll lose their starting quarterback, Brandon Wall. They'll lose the interception maker, Seth Siebold, in the secondary. They'll lose Brennan Ross, the starting cornerback. They will lose Brent Masters with his over 700 yards of rushing at the slot back position. They'll lose Tyler Grisham, the team's all-time leading scorer in Howe history. The Bulldogs will also graduate J.P. Queen, the outstanding outside linebacker. Richard Sloan will graduate, as well as Matthew Mariano and Mike Helpenstell, who will be heading off to the military. Landry Elvington, who started tonight at left guard for an injured Connor Jackson, and Landry will graduate. Adam Fox, who barely got to be a part of this team and transferred in from Oklahoma, and the UIL had some issues with him playing, but finally got on the field. And then Tanner Hartsfield, the heart and soul of this football team, will graduate, and that'll be a big loss to this football team. Tim Helpenstell, the starting left tackle, will graduate. A young man who worked his tail off over off-season workouts, went from not playing very much at all, ever in his life, to becoming the starting nose guard on this football team. Zach Daniels, congratulations, young man. You have really earned the respect of a lot of people around this part. Matt Griffin will also graduate, and what an outstanding young man. He has a very bright future. Matt Griffin. So returning, there are some bright spots, and we'll go over those. Returning, a big one, Andrew Griffin comes back. Cade Courtney, who saw a lot of action in the backfield, he'll be back. Winston Moss will be hopefully well and returned to the field next year. Dylan Moreau, an outstanding linebacker, will come back. Bryce Honecker will be a senior. Peyton Reagan saw action a lot this year on offense. John Stapleton. Cameron Blesseye, an outstanding defensive end, will also probably see some time next year in the backfield. Mason Riggs, the sophomore, will now be a junior when he comes back. Austin Lee will be back. He's a sophomore currently. Hunter Cheatham, Mike Heimel. Chase Harvey, the center, will be back. Connor Jackson will hopefully be healthy and back. Chris Garrison, a sophomore. Clay Marshall, the big right tackle, will return for the Howe Bulldogs. And Ty Harvey, the 6'5 wideout, will be back, as well as others that are on the JV that will make their way up, and it will be exciting as the JV had a good year this year. And as long as everything stays the same, you would think that Howe's going to continue to do what they do, is pound people, keep the ball, and be successful. If they're still in the slot T, they're going to be successful. It really doesn't matter who they run out there. They're going to be successful.
Right.
Now, you always wonder when you have great seasons, other people want your coaches. So those things can happen. You hope for Howe that it doesn't happen. You would love to see, everybody keep the band together, so to speak. But there are situations where other towns and other school districts want what you have.
Right.
And when Howe goes 3 rounds deep, 2 out of 3 years, a lot of people are going to be wanting what you have.
Right.
So let's hope for Bulldog fans that everything stays the same. But should something change, you really, if you're a heart and soul Bulldog fan, you want to keep things as similar as they are right now, because things are pretty good the way they are.
Yes, they are. I am proud of everything that these Bulldogs have done.
Well, the Mineola Yellowjackets are celebrating out on the field. The Howe Bulldogs taking their last celebration together, raising their helmets, and they're talking to their head coach, and they break out of that for the very last time as a team. The very last moments that they will ever spend together as a football team. And let me tell you, that's very emotional, and there's not many situations that are quite like that last time. When you take that chin strap off and take that helmet off for the very last time, it's something you never forget.
No, there's always that, what if, just let me have one more, just one more. And they have nothing to be ashamed of.
Well, we're going to end this broadcast by letting you listen to some of the seniors that we had a chance to visit with this year in the Senior Spotlight. I really appreciate you guys being with me all year. As always, Michael Mosier, Stephen Braswell, hope to keep this train rolling for a long time.
Me too.
For everyone who has been a part of this one, it's a 21-7 loss to Mineola in the regional championship. And the boys of Fall are taking off their helmets for the very last time. Our hats off are to the seniors of 2017.
We get pretty laid back, but once we step on the field, that's when we have to get serious.
Over the summer, we worked really hard during the morning workout. We do lots of lifting and running, just trying to get better. I mean, we lift all year long, trying to get better, ready for football season.
Zach Hudson. I love it when he yells at us. If you hit him, pick him back up, you hit him again harder. That's about it. He's a go-getter.
I think we'll have to, execute our assignments and do what the coaches tell us, and just go back to what we do in practice. We've been practicing harder this week, so just go back to that and just kind of, don't stray too far from it.
But, if we just play the sound game that we know how to play and do what we're taught to do, then we'll easily, that's all you got to do is just do what you're taught.
Sometimes I want to throw the football, but, if we're sitting there moving the ball, then let's not just throw it up there. Just keep running the ball, keep tiring out the defense.
I think we'll go pretty deep into the playoffs.
It's kind of cool to be a senior starting on defense, playing and having my dad's number because he really likes watching me play, so it's kind of cool.
The expectations for this team is to go as far as we can.
This has been a Grayson Publishing presentation. Howe Bulldogs football has been brought to you by Cavender Home Theater, Sweetie Pies by Karen, Howe Mercantile, Sonic of Howe, Scoggins Funeral Home, Carrie's Coffee Company, Douglas Propane, Buck Snort Barbecue, Abby's Restaurant, Attorney Micah Belden, and the Howe Athletic Booster Club.